And we're live. Welcome, everybody, to tonight's episode. It's episode 19 of DuckTales. Tonight we have D. Fields with us of Get Hooked on D Fishing and Fields to Water. Welcome, D.
Welcome, Earth. Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Oh, we appreciate you coming.
Hello.
Jody, why don't we start out with some shout outs while we wait for some people to come in?
Okay. We got, at the very beginning, Avid Fisherman. And Mark was in there, but he rolled off. And I can't remember who. There was somebody else in between those two, but he rolled off too. So then we got Chris Everett saying, hey, good evening. Dallas Liver, Catfish Weekly, said it should be a great show. Then we got Marilla Family Fishing. Trio Catfishing. Finally, the star of the Fields family will tell us the real stories. Catfishing Coffee. Yeah. Then we've got Jimmy Graham. I lost my place just then. Chris Everett, Mr. Gadget Fishing. Want to know how you're doing tonight?
Doing good, Mr. Gadget. Thanks for asking.
And Lau says, woohoo, the D.
Now, did he put just the letter? No.
He wrote D-E-E, but he put the in front of it. And we got Catfishing with Cause in here tonight. Good to see Cause. Glad you're in here.
Yep, glad to see you, Cause.
Mm-hmm.
That's Fishing with Squirrel. Welcome.
Yep.
He said, gee.
Mr. Gadget said, always good
when I come into a chat.
Always good to see someone that knows how to catch catfish better than Chad. That's what Mr. Gadget said.
There's video evidence of that, too.
A little bit.
From Sunday, actually.
We're not going to bust on Chad.
Fish, didn't
you? Oh, yeah, I caught the first fish before Parker Pursuits even.
Yeah,
that's right.
That was awesome.
Fishing with the Squirrel coming in. David Smith. I think that's about got us caught up.
I got the Robotron at the moment. Oh, you still there, Jody?
I'm here. Just me and you, though.
All right, I got the Robotron. It usually clears up in about 30 seconds.
Yeah. Got Tim Molina come in the house.
There you go.
Silver Fox Fishing Sandy.
Sorry about that.
We weren't that hard on you, were we?
Yeah. Haven't even asked the first question. And
No, Mr. Gadget, we didn't kick her out. All right, my volume just cleared up. I have a problem with this. I get the Robotron voice every single week, twice during our show, and it lasts for 30 seconds. And I guess from what I've asked, the only person that can hear it is me. So as long as everybody else is talking, I'm good. When I see everybody stop talking, I hear that, it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, my phone was making that funny noise too, so I hit the wrong thing. I was supposed to go to settings, and I tried to pull it down, and then it hit back, and I had to enter the studio again.
Yeah, Tim Molina is in the chat. He says he's having a problem with his phone. He's going to throw it on the charger and be back in a few. There's Brian B. Matt Catter. Welcome, Richard. Who else did I see? David Smith. There he is, Jello. I saw Jello. Hello, hello.
I like to say, hello, Jello.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So I got just some housekeeping stuff to do real quick. In the links for tonight, obviously, our guest is always listed first. We have Dee's page as well as Fields to Waters page. We have Jody's page, multiple pages. We have a new one tonight. I've put Catfish Regulators, my good buddy Aaron, into the descriptions tonight. He has a new merch store that just went online this morning. The link is there if you would like to take a look at that. I think he mentioned having like 170 items. So
Oh, wow.
there might be something there for just about anybody.
I bet you he made a mug just for you.
Well, he says, yeah, you can customize a lot of that stuff. So that's what, yeah. We have Michelle, It's All Mine. Her link is in. And for anybody that didn't see it yet, she dropped a video at 9:30 this evening, just before we went on, about the project she was working on while I was having fun at CatCon.
You should
So,
go check it out. It was a good video.
Thank you. I hope she'll appreciate that. We have Creole on the list. We're trying to get his watch hours up. Bobcat's on the list. He made my wonderful stickers. He has an awesome business, Horizon Graphics, and his YouTube page listed. And we're trying to get Jeremy Colvin up as well. As you know all too well about that, Dee, there was a problem with Jeremy and Chad trying to get monetized, and we have Chad listed as well. And we also have listed Chad's appearance on DuckTales, which was back in episode 4 for tonight. And we have Uncle Lou. There's rumor that there's a new Bumpin Rod out from Uncle Lou. So we have him, and we have Brad's Title Weights and Sinkers tonight. So there's some links there if you're missing any of that stuff. If it's new to you, if you want to check it out, please feel free. Okay, so a new name. Itty Bitty Kitty Committee is in the house.
Lyle loves that name, but he has to say it very carefully like that too.
Yep. All right, so let's get started, Dee.
Okay.
First off, I want to give you the opportunity. As I said, Chad was in episode 4, and it was a great show. I would like to give you the opportunity to agree or refute anything that was said in that show.
So I'm glad you're listening. He says he's listening from the other room. He hit it pretty well. It was funny though, because when he was talking about, we got engaged at the Michigan football stadium. It's called the Big
that's
House.
a great story. Yep.
And it was the first time I'd ever been there. In fact, I believe it was the first time I'd even been in Michigan. But so we were walking around enjoying all the fanfare and everything, and we decided to sit on the wall outside the stadium before they let everybody in. And I saw him drop something, and usually, I'll reach down to help him, who can pick it up? Here you go. And he was all like, no. I was like, okay, whatever. Well, come to find out later, it was the ring that he dropped. So we go in, and while we had been walking around, he bought me a lanyard, and I was like, cool, okay, I wear lanyards every day at work. And so, I'm pretty used to them, but it didn't have anything on it. The clip was empty. So I went ahead and just shoved it in my pocket. And he asked me for it later. And I'm like, okay. So I hand it to him. And then we're in there, and he's trying to propose to me. He's like, here, I want to give this back to you. And I was like, okay. At this point, I'm going, why is he wigging out about this lanyard so much? I shove it in my pocket again. A little later, as he says, he's sitting over there going, how am I going to get her to book? What am I going to do? And I'm totally oblivious, taking in the crowd and everything. And he's like, why don't you take that lanyard out and put it around your neck? And I'm really like, God, ever, okay. So I take it out of my pocket. And usually when I put a lanyard on, I go like this because I'll make sure my badge is flipped down.
Right.
Well, I apparently didn't do that. I just put it over my head and enjoying the crowd again. And finally, he's like, oh my God, would you just look at the lanyard? I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, will you? And I was like, yes. And I was just like, oh, now I see why the lanyard was important.
Yeah. That's an incredible story.
Oh,
Yeah.
All
And
right.
I think I told you 13 years yesterday.
Yes.
We've been married 13. It'll be 14 in November, on November 1st.
Okay, great.
okay.
Yeah.
How long did you
What-
date? Just together a while, wasn't you?
Yeah, it was about a year.
Yeah.
Was it 2 years?
06 to 08.
Okay, it was 2 years. I'm bad with dates.
So you told me a funny story about how you came to be together when
Yeah.
we were talking.
So when I worked at DHL previously, and I was a supervisor in the office, and the outside operation was getting ready to move to Wilmington, which is like an hour and a half drive away from Kentucky. And so my sister had actually met Chad in a break area, and we'd go on breaks. My sister worked at DHL then too. And she introduced me to him. And for the longest time, I tried to get those two together. I was like, he needs a good woman. He's around your age. Go for it. And but she's a bit wilder than me. So she was like, no, I'd just break his heart. I'm not going to do that. And I was like, well, heck, we'll see. So the operation goes to move, and we get new positions up in our department. So I end up interviewing him and hiring him for one of the positions so he doesn't have to go to Wilmington. We start talking more. Yes, I was his boss.
I was going to ask that. You're the boss at work, at home, and on the boat.
That's right. Now he's the boss. He's a manager, but I like it like that. He seems happier this way. But yeah, so then I got moved to one of the other groups to be the supervisor, and then we were kind of free to date then because supervisors should never date their employees. FYI, people.
Yeah, I had that where I worked too. Never ended out well for anybody.
No. But yeah, so that's our story.
Tell us about the picture you chose for your thumbnail for tonight's show.
That is my PB crappie. It was 15 inches. I
Wow.
caught it last year up with Betty at Pink Creek.
I
And
guessed that. It
Yeah.
was with Betty.
Yeah, she's my crappie guru. She's teaching me how to do crappie fishing.
Excellent.
Chad's never really targeted crappie, so we're both learning from her. Oh, and Brandon, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny because there are a lot of Amish people, I believe it is, up around there, and they fish the lake a lot. And we were over by this wall, and it was like just our two boats. I pulled that up, and Betty goes, "Oh my God!" 2 minutes later, there was like 15 boats right there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm used to that in the bass world too. You know.
Oh yeah.
You go out of your way to hide the fact that you have a fish on. You go to the other side you drag them around the trolling motor to the other side of the boat, so nobody will see you lifting them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so funny how fast. I mean, I was like, wow, they like came out of nowhere even.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's a beautiful picture.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was funny because I would have sent a catfish picture, and Chad was like, I know what picture you should use. It's, I think, the very best picture of you holding a fish. And I was like, cool. Yeah, we'll use that one.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you suggested that to me. I said we had found that other one, and usually you just go for the biggest catfish picture that's in, and actually the one that we had found first from Wiley, it was a little bit out of focus when you put it in there.
Yeah.
But when you said that one, I said, yeah, that works. That's awesome. So I'm glad you sent it to us.
Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, that was actually that was amazing. I mean, I was like, we were catching crappie, but I was like, whoo! And I think it was that same day I caught, I think it was like 1.04 pound warmouth.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, so I mean, I got a couple PBs that day. Actually, last year I broke all my catfish PBs and made, crappie and a warmouth PB. So
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome.
When are you going back to the crappie fishing?
actually we're going crappie fishing Sunday.
That's what I thought I heard.
Yep.
Yep. Well, that's great. You going with Betty?
Yep, going with Betty.
Yeah. Excellent. Hope she's in tonight. Hope she's catching this.
There's a question from Fishing with Squirrels, wanting to know if Chad fished before he met you.
Actually, yes. And I think you want me to go ahead and jump into that question, Tom?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Actually, Chad is the one that taught me how to fish. He's been fishing his whole life, and so
he's taught you well.
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of those things. You know how have you ever taught somebody a card game? It used to happen to me with euchre all the time. You teach somebody euchre and then they beat you all the time.
Yeah.
Well, Chad taught me how to fish, and he gets me on the fish so that I can beat him all the time. But
so he's a good captain.
Are all bigger, so
yeah, he's a good captain.
Yes, he is. Yeah, and it's even, we have our days, some days, if it's been a especially hard day, a lot of wind, we've had a lot of snags and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I tell him, if the rod goes down, I'm like, you just take it. And I know, he will a lot of times let me take it because my theory behind it is, he finally got me interested in fishing. He wants to keep me that way. So if I get to catch fish every time, more likely I'll be, staying fishing with him.
Yeah, I'm kind of that way. I'd love to see other people catch fish. I'd rather see anybody that comes here catch a big fish rather than me. You know?
Oh, that's right.
For years, and just
Well, that's like when we went to Bama and Betty caught that 80. I was like, as much as I would love to catch an 80, I don't really want to catch an 80. Because how do you ever break that? It's not, it's going to take you a while to break that PB. I haven't been
Right.
fishing long enough to have that kind of PB. I want to work my way up to it.
Well, that was funny. The picture of Betty sitting down on the deck of the boat.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what. Poor Mark's live that night. Chad was live with him, and
Mhm.
we're just trying to watch over at Betty's boat. Oh, look! Oh my God! Look!
Yeah, it's like we talk about that here. Like, if we catch, I mean, we've caught them up to 60 here, or 61, I think Aaron's PB is.
Wow.
But if you get them much bigger than that, or if I'm by myself, if I get 70 and 80-pound fish, I'm not sure I can get it up on the dock without, I got one bad shoulder now. I think I'd have two. I'd probably have to get in the water and walk them to the bank,
I was going to say, you just do a stand, jump in there and swim with it.
Yeah. Well, there's only about 3 feet of water off the dock, but depending upon what time of year it is.
Yeah.
But the winter hasn't been all that good to us, so we're waiting for it to turn around. We fished 2 weekends ago, and Lisa came to fish the dock, Mrs. Catfish Regulators, for the first time, and she got a 35-pounder.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, and I ended up with an 11, and Aaron got a 7-pounder, and that's the way it should have been. So we were happy. We were thrilled. It was our first fish. Oh, it was awesome to see her fight that fish. She actually started getting dragged towards the front of the dock. Aaron had to grab her by the back of the pants and hold her so she could fight the fish.
Anchor her down, huh?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to watch those kind of fish fights.
Yeah. And just to see the look on her face when she saw her when we got it up on the dock, and it's like, yeah, that's priceless.
Yeah.
You only get that opportunity, and that was her very first blue at all.
Oh, wow.
Nice. So so it was all new to her. So it was incredible.
Yeah, she'll be hooked now if she wasn't before. That's what we need to do with Michelle. We need to get Michelle. Like, my first one was 23 pounds, and that was it. I had fished with Chad a little before that, but after that, I was like, oh, wow. And just to feel the fight and to hold the fish, it was like amazing.
Yep. Yeah, I think I'm going to try this year for a bigger flathead. I mean, I caught a nice one last year. It was 35 pounds, but of all the 300 and whatever fish I caught, I only had 2 flatheads. The other one was 3 pounds. So they're not all that, they're in the lake, but when you're on the dock, you don't have access to the spots where they stay.
Right.
So the one that I got was just happened to be going by, and so that, but we're looking for that for this year. Not as many. I'd rather catch more flatheads in less numbers if I could get on them somehow. But I don't know how I can work that out. I got to do some more reading, I guess. I got to get Epic on the phone and have him explain it all to me.
Yeah. Come down and say, okay, this bush is where they would be. And
yeah. When the wind's blowing from the north. I had a blast talking to him. I got to spend a little bit of time with him at CatCon outside of his seminar, and I just enjoyed every bit of it. What a great guy.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't met a bad person from the catfish family yet.
No. Let's say Michelle has a comment. She says, I've caught fish, lots of fish, and good sized ones too. Great fighters. I also have a channel cat out of Lake Anna. I'm done fishing. We were on a bass trip the first time we had taken the boys away on vacation. And we stayed on the lake and had the boat in the water and all that. And she caught a channel cat that we dubbed Catzilla. That's how at that time was bigger than any catfish I'd ever caught because I wasn't fishing for them. I was fishing. I was still heavily into the bass fishing, and we were real proud of that. We still have the picture. I came across it. I have a big album of all sorts of fishing photos, but it's in there, and it was great to see it again. But yeah, she don't like the fishing too much. The thing is, though, if you could ask her about baits or techniques and all that. She listens. She knows. She knows all these things. She just doesn't have an interest in following up on it.
Well, at least, she's there to support you, and
And
she can help you out. Which bait do I need? Here, you need this bait,
Yep.
honey.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Like if I'm, up down at the dock, and I said I could call up to the house and say, "Hey, I need something. I'm coming up," because we leave the rods in the rod holders, so I don't want to leave it. I don't want to leave it really alone. I can run up here in the car, and she'll have it ready for me at the door when I get here, so that I don't even have to get out of the car, so I can turn around and go right back down the hill. So she's a wonder. She's great to have for that. But I gotta say, if it come down to making the breakfast sandwich or sitting on the dock in the middle of the night with me, I think I like her making the breakfast sandwich.
I've heard they're pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, Jody likes it.
Yep. That's all I want her to make when I go. Make me 2 breakfast sandwiches, one for that morning, one for that night.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that when we come down that way in April.
Yep, just let us know the dates. Are you going to be staying over at Kerr or?
Yeah, we're staying actually right in Clarksville.
Okay.
And we'll be there
35, 40 minutes from here.
I think the 9th through the 12th.
Cool. Excellent.
Yeah, we plan on hopefully going up and fishing with Stan that Sunday for Stan Day.
Excellent.
And, the one tonners, we plan on fishing with them, and of course we plan on coming to the dock and fishing with you.
Yeah. Well, if you're over at Kerr with the one tonners, I'm usually good for showing up anyway. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely want to get you here to the dock and experience the whole gambit of what Michelle does for everybody, and she does a great job of it, and puts her heart and soul into it.
Get to meet her,
Yeah. Yep. So we have a bunch of people.
The hardwood floors.
Yeah. Well, like she said, she's got half of it done, but we can't do the kitchen yet because we'd have to pull the cabinets, and it takes 10 weeks when you order cabinets. So.
Yeah.
So our spare bedroom has cases and cases of the matching flooring just sitting there. So, but that'll come in time.
Oh yeah.
I hope. I don't know. Maybe she'll do it during the Kansas City CatCon. I don't know. She has a habit of doing projects when I'm away. She likes for me to leave. So she literally told me, "You're going to CatCon. If Art can't go, you're still going."
Well, she was working on floors. It's less feet in the way. I'm sure that's all it was.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's talk about your page. Get hooked on Fishin. What do you see happening on your own page this year?
I don't know. Basically my page is more I make little videos. Usually they are pictures that I just put together. Mm-hmm. I do have a couple short videos and a couple shorts, but most of it is just like it's a memory bank for me, just memorable moments and stuff.
Yeah.
Most of our fishing and videos and stuff will be on Fields to Water.
Excellent. Now, how are you doing with the numbers coming up on Fields to Water?
I don't think we've hit 500 yet. 427. We're at 427.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it'd be nice to get community tab, especially with the things we have coming up in the future. So.
Right. Yeah, that'd be great. That's the only thing I'm looking for, and I'm only at 350. But but to be able to share out stuff so that other people can see it. For me with Facebook, almost all of my friends on Facebook are family or bass fishing guys, and I post catfish stuff on there. You put a link to it, and I get like one like on it or something, and so that didn't go so well.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that was like most of the time I post links, share them in our Fields to Water group on Facebook. But occasionally, when it's a big deal like tonight's show, I will share it on my personal page. It was funny because one of the first comments is from one of the agents that works for us. And she was like, "We have a fishing celebrity."
That's great. All right, just for everybody in chat, we've got it. Dee has an early rise in the morning, so we promised her we would keep her at an hour. So I don't have a whole lot of time to go through the chat. If I do see questions, I am popping them up. But if you have something you really would, that you want to have answered, try to throw it up there, and we'll see if we can get to it. But we're going to try to enjoy the time that we have with Miss D.
And so far, I think I might be able to hang a little longer because I don't know. I think I took one of them Jody power naps.
There you go.
Right.
I fell asleep for like 15, 20 minutes, and I feel pretty good. I woke up like actually awake.
Chris Everett has a question. Dee, what's your favorite fish?
Well, it's hard to say. I really liked reeling in the flathead, but I've only done that once. It was funny, though, because I had spectators, and they were like, "We thought you were reeling in a dead body." I was like, "I did too." But now, channel cats, they put up a really good fight.
Yeah, we don't have large channel cats here. Like my best is 7, and because of the big blues and the big flatheads and all that, but yeah, they fight hard for sure. Yeah. I get in a sad place when I see them talking about Mendota. Say I would love to get there some year, but that's a long way to go from here.
Yeah, we're going to Mendota. And I look forward to my PB is a 12-pound channel cat.
That's awesome.
But I really look forward to beating that this year. Who is this Fields to Water person asking how great my husband is?
I don't know.
He's pretty awesome, Fields to Water.
Well, good for you. Hope that's the answer he was looking for.
Says he has a tear in his eye now.
Oh.
So I saw another question real quick. Quiet Man Curtis wants to know, how long did it take you to teach Chad how to fish?
Now, Curtis, did you not listen? Chad taught me how to fish. It was just an example of the student surpassing the teacher.
And Brian B says, "Don't make you lie in public."
There's my BFF. I knew you'd be in here.
All right, I think I saw another one. Creole. Bucket list fish and destination.
I want to go fish with Creole.
Don't we all?
I'll catch anything.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll probably have to give you $2.22 because I really want to catch a sturgeon.
There you go.
It was so funny because Luke from Catfish and Carp had went sturgeon fishing, and when we were talking about different trips and stuff we'd like to take this year, I screenshotted him in the water with that sturgeon, and I was like, I want to catch this. where
Yeah.
do we have to go?
Yeah, the closest I've ever come, I saw one swim right by my boat when I was bass fishing in shallow water on the edge of a pad field, and it was probably only about 3 feet long. It wasn't a huge monster like Stan's, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'd love to catch one.
Oh yeah. And actually, there are probably a ton of fish I'd love to catch because since I'm really just getting into fishing, I know about the different kinds of bass,
Mhm.
different kinds of panfish, different kinds of catfish. So there are probably an overabundance of fish I would love to catch.
Yeah, well, and then you get into ocean fishing. I mean, there's like thousands of different kinds of fish in there. It's like
Yeah.
freshwater, there's only a limited amount, and it depends upon where you live. But you go in the ocean, and so many times I've caught fish I didn't know what they were.
Mhm.
It's like some of them, oh, that one's poisonous. You don't want to get spiked by that one, and this one's got this problem, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
if you don't know, ask. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
Mr. Gadget says the 15 to 20 pound channels at the south end of the lake. He's seen a 20 plus off of his dock. Wow, I'm going to need the coordinates for that dock, Mr. Gadget. Let's see. Okay, Tim Molina wants to know, why is Brian your BFF and not him?
Because, Tim, you're my brother. I love you.
Good answer. Hey,
Don't be jealous.
getting back to the other question, do you have a destination, a place that you'd like to go to that you either haven't been or you've been and you want to go back?
Actually, I'm really looking forward to going to Wiley. But I mean, we had like the best day fishing ever there. So I hope it's not one of those things like you go back the second time and we get skunked or something. No.
Yeah.
Well, I think you had the right idea. You guys, as we were talking about, we didn't get very many fish in our boat, and we were doing something totally different than what you were doing. And you seem to have it. You had the right idea, and it worked for you. So, there ain't no reason to think it wouldn't work the same time of year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
I'd also like to, well, I've never fished anywhere like out west. Actually, until a couple years ago, the furthest west I'd ever even been was Indiana. And that was Indianapolis in Indiana. But a few years ago, we went to Texas, but we didn't fish. But I'd love to go out that way and fish too.
Yeah.
I like to travel, and since I took up the same hobby as my husband, um, whatever, Chadwick. We can pool our money that we would spend on hobbies and take some trips and fish in different places. So
Yeah.
All right, Quiet Man Curtis. Who is the one lady you would like to go fishing with?
I think there's this lady. She has black hair, and she catches a lot of flatheads on the Tennessee. Oh, Pontoon Judy.
I wasn't sure who you were talking about.
I'd love to have you go fishing. Be a blast.
Yeah. Oh, I think so too. Wait,
And we live close enough together to make
Stephanie,
it
like we were
happen.
talking about.
Mhm.
What'd you
Yep.
say? I'm sorry.
We live close enough together to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that far apart, really.
No, not really.
Hmm.
Well, that's a good lead into another question, Jody.
Okay. Women of catfishing. I've got a Facebook page for that, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the women of catfishing, the real women that's in our community.
Right.
You're well known, respected, and how do you feel about being a role model for all the other women?
I I don't know if I would consider myself. I don't know. I'm honored.
You love them.
Hush. But yeah, I just like to encourage the other woman because I know that there are a lot of husbands like Chad was who wanted to spend more time with me, and so now that we share a hobby, we could spend more time together. We you know, and it's something that if anything were to ever happen, you can feed yourself. You can, take care of yourself.
Mhm.
And it's just a lot of fun. So I like to encourage as many women to fish as I can.
Yeah.
That's even like Miss Dana from
Mhm.
Real Time Fishing.
Yeah.
She was talking about wanting to fish and everything. And I was like, I know what it's like for it to be all your husband's gear, So
Right.
I sent her an Uncle Lou's rod and I said, now this is your rod. You need help setting it up or anything, you let me know. But then that way you have something that's yours so that if you want to catch a fish, you can catch a fish.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And
That's true,
she's a
because
hoot when she does it.
a lot of times it's like
Go ahead.
you don't, which I've got my own gear, but you don't want to, it's like you can't touch their stuff because they've got
Yeah.
the way they want it. So I understand completely about needing your own rods and reels.
Oh yeah, I'm still not really good with bait casters. And Chad has aboos and he loves his aboos. And
Yeah.
thankfully he loves me more though.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. The Michelle was watching earlier when he was there on Patriot James's show. She was saying, I noticed all those boxes behind Chad were Abu boxes because I keep all my boxes and I'm an Abu guy too. So
Yeah.
he's got as many boxes as you do.
Mhm.
Yep,
So,
as you know, you got to use the reels and hold on to the boxes for the bait shop.
Mhm.
yeah. Well, the other thing is if you ever have to send one back, they want it in the original packaging. So I keep all that stuff. I don't know how
Yeah.
many empty boxes I have sitting wherever I can store them.
And actually, real boxes are much smaller than boxes of like if you buy new TVs or
Yeah. Yep. Or a new sonar.
Yeah. He thinks that was his
Do you
present.
have any advice? Do you have any advice you would give to a new woman angler?
Don't be afraid to get slimy.
Yeah.
I grew up, my mom treated me very much like a girly girl. If I got dirty, she cleaned me off, right away. I wasn't
Mhm.
allowed to get dirty, basically.
Yeah.
As I got a little older, I became boyish. Um, lived close to my 3 boy cousins, and we rode bikes and climbed trees and everything. But then I still had those things like I couldn't use lotion or any of that stuff because I was just like, it stays greasy too long and I feel
Yeah.
dirty.
Mhm.
Now I'm like, give me that slimy fish. It's right, I caught it.
Yeah.
Scales I used to pick them off of Chad while he was trying to reel in fish. And,
Mhm.
now I can let that stuff go a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of from a man's perspective of women. I mean, it's like it's a great equalizer. I mean, there's no real, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but I mean, a man and a woman can do the exact same thing in fishing and not have a disability, and,
Right. Yeah.
so it's great. it's great to see women getting out there and women getting out there on their own, and even,
Oh yeah,
um,
Lori Ann is a perfect example. I
Mhm.
see some of the places she fishes, and I'm like, oh girl. But
well,
if she knows what she's doing and she can protect herself, fish
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
she's a great example. She basically taught herself. If you've ever heard her, she admits, I was from New Hampshire, and I used to bass fish and catch trout, and she had to learn how to, all the knots and all the gear and all that. And she had some help, but for the most part, she's out there by herself learning how to do that.
Yeah.
And it's great. And yeah, some of the places she goes, and she said, "Oh yeah, there is a watermark." I said, "Nope, see ya. I'll
Yeah.
be in the truck." But,
And Brian, we'll have to make it up to the Potato River one of these days.
there you go.
I've got another question, but I'm gonna call out some people in chat real quick. We got Pork Chop, Take Down Catfishing, Fields to Water, Jeremy Colvin, Brokeback Bob, Kevin Baker, Freddy's is here, Stephen Corley, Whisker Dreams, Want to Be Outdoors, Dale Hayslip, Mike Sampson, Mike's Fishing Home, Eric B, Nina's Kayak Crew, Marilla's Family Fishing, Chrissy Brown, Lance McCouguy, CVA, Quiet Man Curtis, JBT's in here, Bobcat, Tanya Hollis, and Big Bill Veterans.
There's so many
I think I
people.
got them.
Yeah, we're up to
I'm
40 people.
Yeah. I'm interested in planter boards. Is that what they call them, where you drag them behind the boat?
Yep.
Mhm.
Well,
And that's what
out to
you
the
like to
side of
do,
the
right?
boat. Oh yeah,
Okay. That's what,
dragon baits.
can you
That's my favorite.
can you tell me about that?
Sure.
How you do it?
So the way we do it is we have two long lines that we send straight out the back. Then we run two sets of planer boards, two on each side. What we do is we'll throw the long one out.
Mm-hmm.
You let the line go out till it hits bottom, and you give it some more line. Usually we'll
Okay.
do at least two lengths of the pole. Clip on your planer board, then let it out, and we usually let that out. I'm bad with it. Goes out that way a ways.
Yeah.
And then we threw the inside planer board. We just drop that bait right off the side of the boat, and we do
Mhm.
the same thing. Give it like a couple rod lengths, clip on a planer board, and let it go out. And
Okay. Now,
when they hit right, it is awesome because your planer boards are outside the boat, just floating along, and they go right back behind the boat, and that's how you know you have a fish on it.
okay. You said you had a long line. Is that on the very outside of the boat, or is it a short line go
There
there?
usually are two in the middle,
Okay. All
and
right,
they're
then.
depending on how big a body of water we're fishing. They'll be anywhere between 100 and 250 back.
Okay. All right, I understand.
How much weight do you put on that to keep it down when you're moving like that? Do you have to put more, or?
Actually, no, we usually use 10-ounce sinkers,
Mhm.
Okay.
just to keep the undercurrent, assuming current's not bad, from oh, you're right. Correction. We use our 2 to 4 ounce dragging weights when we're dragging baits. The sinkers we
Okay.
use 10-ounce when we do suspend drifting and suspend
Okay.
off the side.
Yeah, it's being in a lake fisherman here. It's like we don't use anything over 4 ounces. So just for casting purposes. So I did get, when Chris and Telly were here last, I got to spend some time with them. And we used
They're pretty
Uncle
awesome,
Lou's
aren't they?
planer boards. Yeah, we had a great day, and I got to learn a little bit about using those, and it was very educational. I enjoyed it, and we caught some fish.
Yeah, that's always fun too.
Yep.
Telly's another one that can cook like Michelle.
Oh,
Telly
yeah.
makes some awesome food.
Yeah, I love her videos.
Yeah.
Actually, we brought home some of her jalapeno pepper jelly from KetCon that she had made for us, and Michelle toasted up some of that English toasting bread, and we had, oh my God, is it delicious. And I think somebody asked her today when her next video was coming out, cooking video, and I don't remember if she said what she had in mind for her next video, but
I have to
hopefully
look
it'll be
forward to
good.
that.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, Tim Molina had a comment. Make sure you buy a left and a right, Jody, for the ones you want to fan out.
Is it harder to reel one in with the planer board on?
Only if for some reason it doesn't pop. You don't have any of the planer boards in here, honey, do you? Hold on, let me show you. Over right over here. Oh, there. Okay. So you'll clip it here, and it clips here.
Okay.
And this is the one that will pop when the fish hits.
All right.
If this one doesn't, the planer board will try and stay, and it'll hinder you then. All you gotta do is jerk it a little harder and pop it,
Okay.
and then it moves right out of your way.
All right.
But yeah, that way you can cover a lot more water. And, well, I have ADD, and so I have to be interested in things. So I think that's one thing. When we bank fish, you kind of just sit there and wait for something to happen.
Yeah.
When you're dragging, you have to watch the rods all the time because you'll see different motions. Sometimes it's a nibble, sometimes it's getting ready to get snagged, and sometimes it just snags.
Yeah.
So you have to be on the ball to grab it so it keeps my focus on a lot, especially we run 6 rods. And usually we'll have at least 2 suspending while we're doing that too.
Okay. Well,
As
you talk past something.
Yep. Thanks for the tip, T. I'll be using my boards for the first time on Friday.
Well, good luck, Has. Have fun with them.
Yep. Good luck. Yes, absolutely.
And get
Hope
some
you catch
sweet
fish.
doggies.
Doggy. So a little bit back to the ladies of catfishing. Tell us about the takeover of the bait shop.
Well, it's funny because it kind of started as we were joking around in the chat one night during the bait shop, because sometimes the chat is about the show and sometimes it's about things you want to do for the show.
Yeah.
And so we got talking, and so then I got a hold of Nina, and we were all like, hey, you really want to do this? So I made a Facebook chat with a bunch of the ladies and was like, hey, we're going to do this on this date. Y'all interested? You coming out? And you'd be surprised how happy they were to accommodate us and come help us out taking over the bait shop.
That's awesome. I watched almost all of it earlier this afternoon, so I make sure I didn't miss anything. And I saw Miss Jody was up there. What did you think about it?
Oh, I loved it. Anytime you take over a shop and a show, and get all the women together talking. I mean, that doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
No.
So, because we talked
it was
about
great.
doing a show like that, a pop up every once in a while.
That's great.
Yeah.
It was great, Dee, when you came in and told Chad, get up.
Mhm.
You're both fired tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
So will that
But,
happen
yeah.
again? You think there'll be another night, or?
You never know. We still have the chat out there together. So,
Yep.
Mhm.
and like I told you, he said when we had to start over, it was Fields' daughter. Well, I'm a Fields, so I should
Yeah.
be on the channel a little more too.
Mhm. That's right.
Yeah, here's something. Bobcat. Bob says, I just dropped a video tonight on my first time using my Uncle Lou's planer boards.
Well,
So that might
There
be
was some
something you
awesome
want to look at,
planer
Judy.
yeah, I'll definitely
Yeah.
watch it. I usually watch all the Bobcat stuff.
Chris and Telly, Hooks and Hammocks has a good one too.
Okay.
I don't know if Chad's ever done instructional about it, but okay, well, don't talk to me. I'm on a show. Oh my God. Who does that? No.
Yeah, right. Who does
Explain me in there.
that?
Take your
Yeah,
bottle
I
and go to
can-
bed, Chad.
Yeah, he was like, I hope they don't hear me snoring in here trying to support you.
Oh.
Yeah, I get a lot of that where I have to mute the mic so Michelle can tell me you're missing something in chat. You missed a question. So,
Mhm.
I don't even give him the chance to mute. I sit in my chair and I'm like, hey, so and so said this.
yeah.
But, we have the bait shop, not a classy show. So
It's a great show.
I love it. I think it fits really well with our personalities. We're just hanging out with friends talking.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've pretty much given up on. I don't remember the last time we've actually watched a real television show. It's been almost 2 years now.
Oh, yeah.
If we didn't have to have the DVR, the receiver, and all that to get the internet through here, so we can watch YouTube, we wouldn't even have it.
Yeah.
But we live in the middle of the boondocks, so we have is DSL, so
Oh,
we have a
yeah.
hard time connecting to everything. So which is why our service is always bad. But we live a mile and a half off of a state road, and it's all private property, and they don't want to drag their lines in that all the way in here to give the 30 homes or 35 or whatever, however many homes there are back here. So they made this big push and told us that we're gonna do this for everybody except for you guys. So,
Thanks, huh?
yeah.
Well, that's like our subdivision was actually built like in the probably late 60s, early 70s.
Mhm.
And yeah, the internet actually runs through the phone lines, the old phone lines.
Mhm.
And the way it runs is all the way up our main street and then back around and then back to our house. So we're like the last people on the line.
Oh yeah.
So we end up with some days it's like, okay, I'm trying to work from home, give me my internet. But they did just recently go through and they're putting in fiber optics.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's what they're running for everybody else in the county except for us. Fiber optic cable.
Yeah.
So Mr. Chad has a comment. Remember, if you catch fish on them now, you have to thank Dee and ultimately me for that knowledge. He's talking about the planer boards, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Gonna give a shout out.
There you go. Has said he'll thank Dee since she taught you as well.
Yeah, because he
That's
was actually, a bank fisherman when I met him. And he told me how much he wanted a boat. So,
Yeah.
Boats are fun.
oh, yeah. Even if you're not fishing from them, which we don't do, if we're on the water, we got to have at least a fishing pole out.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
But, when Alyssa goes with us, she likes to swim.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, well, you swim over there. You have to stay over there because the fishing lines are over here.
I used to have it with the boys and their various girlfriends' wives, where I'd go fishing somewhere and I'd fish a point or a couple of docks for 15, 20 minutes, and then I'd back out, and then I'd let them, they'd jump off the boat and swim around before I moved to the next spot. So every 20 minutes or so, they were jumping in the lake and I was fishing opposite them, so that we had it kind of coordinated pretty good so that we didn't interfere with each other, and everybody got to do what they wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sandy,
Yeah.
the question
You got to
for
keep
you.
it interesting for the kids too, or they'll cut
Yeah.
your fishing trip short.
Oh yeah, yep. Sandy wants to know if you have any plans on hosting a women's tournament of your own this year.
I've actually kicked around that idea. I kicked around a lot of ideas, but not knowing what I wanted to do with my channel for so long, I really haven't moved forward with anything.
Mhm.
But I think with the new channel, maybe, we could look into that. I think it would be interesting to have a women's tournament.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, because I really, not because we did it or anything, but I really love the couples tournament because, that was like the first one we had. Stan thanked us because, Diane hadn't fished with him in forever.
Right,
And,
right.
She caught a fish on live even,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I think it does that encouraging of, hey, spend a little time together, try this out.
Yeah.
You might like it. If you don't, hey, it's once a year. You got to do the couples tournament. That's it. No.
Yeah, that was the first. I was just getting to know Stan. Was like the first guy that I met, that I actually talked to outside of just texting and videos and stuff like that. And to get to see him get out there with Diane was great. And they won their first day.
Yeah.
I think they had 2 fish, but it won the day, and it was great to see him out there with her. And he actually went to the car. I know you got the rule, you're supposed to alternate, let your spouse catch a fish too. And he
Yeah.
had gone to the car because his battery was dying, and she had to do it, and it was great.
Yeah, because I remember she did not want to be on film. And then it was like, well, got to catch the fish. Okay. Yeah, it was kind of, YouTube was a little different for me too, because I'm more of a stand back in a crowd kind of person and watch what's going on. So, getting up here and doing this is out of my comfort zone, which I've actually gotten a lot better with it. But so I could totally understand where she was coming from.
Uncle Lou says, good to see it's the better half of Fields to Water up on screen. Welcome, Uncle Lou.
Well, thank you, Lee. That's very sweet.
We've actually had a lot more come back in. We got Bugman off the res, Ricky from Whisker Dreams, Eric B. Catfishing, Trophy Seekers Outdoors. We saw Haz and Uncle Lou, Valerie, Don R., and someone named Parker Pursuits.
Parker Pursuits.
Hey, Jerry. Welcome, everybody.
And
He
did
really
you catch
is an
the first-
awesome fisherman.
Mm-hmm.
But I caught the first fish when we were out fishing with him.
That's right.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Angler of the Bill just come in.
All right, we're a little bit over the hour. Are you good, Dee?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. I wanted to ask you about what it was like being on the the very first edition of the Anglerholics game show.
I loved it. I was kind of nervous because the more you watch YouTube, sometimes the less you watch YouTube.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yep.
And so I was like, oh, I'm not going to know any of the answers. And I was actually surprised. I knew quite a few. And then, having my partner with me, who's a YouTube fanatic, by the way, helped. And the way they did the challenges, asked everything, they did an amazing job setting that up. And then, we got to go against the Parkers, and any stream they're in, you're going to laugh.
Yeah. Well, we were fortunate enough that they were our first guest on here on DuckTales. And, I was nervous. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. And I was like, and it's just let John, let John and Dana be them. And it was great. But you had the disadvantage. Now the people that come on the show, they kind of know what to expect. You guys this was all new to you. Did they explain it all to you before it started, or?
They gave us a basic rundown of what it would be like, but still, you're going, okay, fishing community questions. Okay, we know our community, but as you see, there are more and more people coming. So did these people have their own community? Was it, thanks, John. So was it, going to be about our fishing community or people we never heard of, and then the off fishing questions, more trivia. I knew Chad was good at trivia. It's so funny. We have a Trivial Pursuit game. It was 1980s edition. Was when it came out.
Yeah.
He can kick my butt in it. He was born in 81.
Wow.
I'm like, I was old enough to know the 80s. I was 10.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I graduated high school in 82, so
88.
I'm a little bit up there. But I heard a little something was that from the Chad, I believe it was yesterday, that he's the most drawn person on the Anglerholics game show, and there's some reference to not having pants or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. He gets drawn a lot, and I don't think he usually gets clothes. Everybody gets the beard, but no clothes.
I heard him say that. That was hysterical. But yeah, I love that show. I wish they did. I know it's a lot of work to put that on, but I wish it was a weekly show.
Yeah.
There's been some great episodes on there, and the people that they bet, that they're pretty evenly matched. You know what I mean? There's not where one couple is running away with it, what about you, Jody? What was your thought on being on the show against Cause?
I loved it. The only thing I didn't like was doing the impersonation, the challenge.
Yeah.
Because I get kind of backwards and shy, and that kind of, put me off the edge a little. And it's Chunky and Has of all people, and they're over the top to begin with.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help when they're in chat, right?
No, I just couldn't make myself do it. I was just too backwards. But I did make myself do this last night.
Let me put you on the big screen. Hold on a second. Dad's favorite. What's the hat say?
Catfish and crappie is actually Chad, but it looks more like Mark. Just Chad and Mark at his bottle.
There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah. They're brothers. They probably share it.
Yeah. Actually, my first one looked a little bit more like Chad.
Well, when I had to draw Chad, the only thing I made sure is I got a red colored pencil to make his beard.
There you go.
But I was also lucky because our daughter keeps her colored pencils in a basket in the living room. So it was handy.
Well, he agrees with you. It looks like Mark. Tim Molina said it looks more like pork chop.
That'd be a red dress.
Do you have an update? When's that going to be, Jody?
It's gonna be Sunday after the tournament. About 15 minutes after the tournament, he's gonna go live on my channel and fish for an hour in front of the camera in his little dress.
All right. That'll be
So
good.
is it a long dress or is it a mini skirt?
I asked for a mini skirt and then I decided I didn't want to see that. So I don't know what he got. This note's it's red because I want to sing Lady in Red and Roxanne.
Yeah.
Everybody says it doesn't have like that, but he asked for it. So
Yeah,
I gifted
I don't
it
know
to
how
him.
you get people to make these bets.
He wanted to bet, so I give him one.
Well, I just wanted to just mention something to you in reference to the takeover of the bait shop show. Man colds are real. Those are real things, Steve. They affect us.
Yeah,
people.
I know.
Yeah.
I totally believe you, Tom.
Nothing worse than when a man gets a cold.
Amen.
I could probably get a big pot of clam chowder or something out of that. You know what I'm saying? You know, if I play it up right.
Hey, that might make it worth it.
Hey, so let's talk about a little bit about CatCon. What was your was this your first CatCon?
Yes, actually it was.
Okay. Yep. And what'd you think?
Gosh, it was fun. I mean, not only meeting all the other YouTubers and everything, but just to see all the equipment and everything. I actually spent some time over in the TWC area, and they were talking about their new bumping rods. Actually, I saw Bumpin Mike Greenwell had got one, and then I was like, I'm gonna go check them out just to hear about them and everything. And so they went and talked about how they decided on the design and everything, and it was really interesting. Things that you wouldn't just know,
Right.
by getting their product in a store or something.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked to, I remembered his name earlier, Joey Middleton from EKPC Nation.
Okay.
It's a small nonprofit organization, and they like to encourage people to use fishing as therapy to get out and be active and stuff. But they also do like the night of CatCon. They went out on the streets and handed out trying to think of the right word, bags of personal supplies to the homeless. They go and they feed people and all kinds of different things they do to benefit the community. And I was like, after talking with him, it was like, he gave us some ideas about our tournaments and stuff. He was like, you might want to encourage people to look at more local nonprofits versus big organizations, because big organizations, as we've seen in the news in the past, not all the money goes where they say the money's going.
Right.
But with these small nonprofits who are volunteers and things, they get more money to the people that need it.
Yeah. I saw that a lot. I worked for the government, federal government for, well, 30 years, but they put on a fundraiser every year to get you to contribute to different causes and all that. And the bigger ones, they actually put out a book that told you where your money went to and what percentage of the money. And a lot of them, the bigger ones, they only got like 40 to 50% of what you contributed because of all the administrative fees and all the personnel they had to pay.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I said, no, I'd just rather make a contribution right to the place myself.
Yeah. Yeah, which brings me to Camp Centurion.
Yeah.
Any time of year, you can click on Camp Centurion's page and donate money. But a really nice time would be in April. We're going to have a fish-a-thon to raise some money for Camp Centurion since Patriot James couldn't have host the tournament this year. So we'll be doing a live with all the boats of the people who are actually at Wiley that day. And any donations that we receive will be given to Camp Centurion. We actually got contacted by one of the local businesses down there, and he wanted to start us off with $500 to have us go ahead and do it so that we could, he gets a little out of it, get some publicity. He's a transmission shop, and for the life of me, I can't remember the name of it right now. But it gets his name out, and he lives in the same county as Camp Centurion. So he wants to see it get built so these veterans can start getting the help, because as Chad said on Patriot Show, 22 a day is way too many. These people, give everything for us to have the freedoms to talk on YouTube to each other, to do anything we want to do. If it wasn't for a vet, we wouldn't have these rates.
Right.
So we got to do what we can for them.
I saw a thumbnail earlier tonight. I don't know if it was from the Patriot James or was it on your community page or somebody's, or is it Patriot James? But it had the link for that shop on there on the flyer, so people can check that out for sure.
Yeah.
And have you had a good reception so far on people coming down?
So far, I think I've seen like 7 or 8 people that will actually be down there, and a few more maybes and not sure. So
yeah. I told you before, when we were backstage, that I hope to get down there, but not having a boat of my own, I'm relying on other people, and I'm not sure if David's gonna make the trip now that the tournament isn't going on.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he comes down. He can, get you on the boat, and you guys can help us raise some money.
Absolutely. Yep. I told you we got that fish that we were watching last year. So
he might still be hiding back there.
He might be back there.
And another place I wanted to talk about is Warrior Catfishing. They also had a booth at CatCon.
Okay.
They take veterans on fishing trips with the idea of keeping them active and getting them outside so that we can cut down on the number of losses too.
Yeah.
So see, there's a lot of good things about fishing. Even the veterans are realizing that it's a therapy. You can go out there and forget about whatever's going on in your life and focus for a little while on catching a fish, enjoying the sun. So, I think that's the other thing that I really enjoy about fishing is even on a day we're getting skunked, assuming it's a nice day. I've been out there in some very cold ones, and it's not quite as nice, but you can just sit back and watch the clouds and just let everything go. It's really nice.
Yeah, and the weather is better, I mean, other than like an ice storm or something like that, where the temperature, the cold you can dress for. As long as you know in advance, you layer your clothes and
Right.
multiple layers of socks and a good pair of boots and a hat, and you can put up with a lot more than you would think. As long as you're prepared for it. But when the boat starts getting slick and the ramp ain't is icy, that's no fun.
You mean like when you back into the water and bust your tail lines? We did that last year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I didn't think that the ice was quite that thick. But hey, you know what? We made it in the water and we went fishing.
Yeah. I know I've seen a lot of bass guys, in the winter. Bass fishing in the winter can be wonderful. The fish, they go to their deep holes and they stay there all the time. So all you got to do is get on top of them and then just make them bite. But I don't know how many guys use their boat to, to break through ice. So I don't know if I'd want to be doing that. I mean, I love fishing. I'm not sure I want a hole in my hole though.
Yeah. That's why hopefully there's at least been one other person that went out on the ramp.
Yeah. Don't be the first one. Just sit there with your coffee and wait for somebody else to do it for you.
Yeah.
And then, don't know if you guys do this, but it's good to have some sand or some kitty litter or something like that. But when you come back, if that ramp is slick, you don't want to put your truck in there.
Yeah.
For sure. It's something to throw down, even if you got to wait 10 minutes for it to take effect. It could save you a lot of headaches.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. A couple weekends ago, we went out fishing with a bunch of people for Amy Evans's birthday, and when we got down there was probably 10 foot of gradually getting deeper mud on the ramp where the water had gone down some.
Oh yeah.
You could see where they were backing and everything with the truck tires, and it was like, oh man, Chad's gonna be a mess when he gets in the boat, because I pull it off the trailer and then I pull up for him to get on the boat while I parks the truck. And thankfully we were able to keep it to a minimum, but yeah, when we came back, I was like, oh, he's going to have a rough time getting out in the mud, because, it's harder to keep your footing when you're trying to step into it than when you're stepping out. Thankfully, the water had pretty much washed it away. So it was a little clearer to get out.
Well, I don't know if your boat has carpet in it, but that's what, on a bass boat, the worst thing, we have this orange clay, it's Carolina clay. Yeah. And you get that on your feet and you step on that carpet, it's tough to get out. And, bass boats, it's all about keeping it for a couple of years and trading it in. And if you don't take care of it, nobody wants it. It takes your resale value down. And which is why my bass boat has not had a catfish on it. I don't know if you've heard that whole saga, but
well, our bass boat is a catfishing boat now.
Well, I had just bought it. Mine's new. Well, it was new when the COVID hit. So it barely has the break-in hours on the engine, and it's got a nice cover, and it sits really nice. It's a paperweight in my driveway right now until I can decide what I'm going to do with it. But if I do want to sell it to get the money back that I still owe on it, it has to be in good shape. So
right,
I'm not going to be flipping catfish up onto the deck.
Yeah. I remember people have probably heard this story, but the first tournament Chad took our boat to, you have a new Jeep?
Yep.
I love my Jeep.
We have the Grand Cherokee Limited.
Nice.
Yeah, it didn't have a tow package on it, so we had to have them put one on, aftermarket. But it's still a 4-wheel drive, and it'll handle my boat anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I have a Rubicon, and
Yep.
it didn't have a tow package. We had to put it on, but we did, and now we haul the boat with it.
Yep.
I have a really good. It's one of my favorite pictures of my Jeep. It's we were pulling out of Wiley, and you can see the Jeep and the boat behind it, and the water in the background.
Yeah. Yep.
I love it.
Sounds like a screensaver to me.
Yep.
I've got a couple of photos that I've taken at sunset, or over on the lake or over off the dock, and I just love those pictures. They came out so cool, and
Yeah.
I kept rotating them a little bit on my computer. So yeah, Michelle said, I think she had another comment. Oh, I think I missed it. Oh yeah. Whose bass boat? That's right. It's all mine. It's hers. Just make the payment just once. Just please, just do it once. Well, do we have anything else we would like to talk about tonight, or have we pretty much hit on everything we had talked about?
Well, I think we pretty much hit on everything.
Jody, can you think of anything? You said you had some questions. Have you gone through them, or?
Yeah, I think so. We did have 4 more people come in. Small water charters. Dominique Hollis being awful naughty tonight. Uncle Jeep and Jeremy Tournament Cast just got here.
I don't know if you mentioned, I saw earlier when the chat was kind of rolling kind of fast that Tanya Hollis was in as well. I
Yeah,
don't know if we got her or not.
yeah. The Queen, I think she changed her
Yep.
name, Queen of Fishin. Tanya Hollis, maybe.
Yep. I'll have to, hopefully, I saw Dominic caught a really nice fish the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice
They're a lot
job,
of fun.
Don.
Hopefully, there's, I think 2 stands just came in. I saw Creel said my broadcast brother.
Yeah.
Well, that could be Roger now.
2
Yeah,
stands.
yeah. He is awesome. Stan, did you end up getting any fish tonight? They were live for a while. He was live with Green Machine earlier.
I think that must have been what was on the TV when I woke up.
Yeah, they were out live for a while. Dan was in the kayak and Stan was on the shore.
Yeah, I was
How
still
did you
doing.
like that?
I saw it said Green Machine. That's
How did you like your nap? They're great,
I
ain't they?
liked it. Yes, they are. Especially when they're effective. Like I said,
Yeah.
most of the time when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh God, do I really have to get up? I laid there and I was like thinking, okay, I have a little longer. I could sleep a little longer. And I was like, no, I think I'm good. I'm going to get up. So hopefully I say that in the morning when I got to be at work at 6.
Yeah.
Have an extra large coffee.
Yep.
Stan said no
And
fish.
Danny
He was
Stone.
trying for hickory shad and white perch. Nothing. Sorry, Stan.
Better luck next time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dan Stone just come in.
Yep.
Oh, we're-
Danny's driving home from catching fish and listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was live all day long, I think.
I caught a little of him live when Chad had him on between Patriots and your show.
Yeah, he was on there all day. He started out on what was it, Lee's, I think, or Freddie, and then he said, well, when they ended, he said, I'm going to start my own stream, and
Yeah.
he had his own fish-a-thon today.
Yeah.
I think you
All
have
right.
somebody in the basement too.
Yeah. I just
Okay.
want to check all these questions here.
Yeah.
All right, I don't see any new questions. Dee, I want to thank you for coming on with us. We had a great time. We have Mike's fishing home in the basement. We tried to get him on another show, and his phone wouldn't connect. So we're hoping that he's going to be able to come up tonight. You're welcome to stay and hang out with us and chat, or you're welcome to go. You gave us an hour and a half, and we really appreciate that. It was a great time.
Yeah, I had a great time. I will probably jump out so I can try and get a little more sleep for tomorrow, but
Okay.
it's been so
Yeah.
hot in our office lately, and it just makes you really tired.
Oh yeah, the heat puts you to sleep. Yep.
Yeah. But thank you so much for having me on. I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, very well. It's our pleasure. It was a great time, and hopefully we'll do it again.
Yep, sounds good.
And I guess I'll be seeing you in about a month.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
Sounds great.
Okay, cool.
Jody?
Thank you.
Thanks for
All right,
coming on.
Jody, anything?
Appreciate it.
All righty. All righty. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I can see myself.
Hey, Mike.
Can you hear
There you
me?
go.
Can you hear me too?
We can
Yeah.
hear you.
Wow. Maybe StreamYard had an issue with this phone and figured it out. Because you guys know for a while now, every time I brought a guest up, I had to leave and come back, leave and come back.
Right.
Every time I tried to be a guest, I was just spinning. The other day I was out fishing and Jody came up on a split screen first and kept me company. Later on, I had somebody split screen fishing with me. On my late night show, I brought up like 6 guests throughout the night and I never had to back out. So that's why I said, hey, maybe it works now. So it might have been a StreamYard issue. Hello, everybody.
Welcome, Mike.
First
Yeah,
of all, how can I follow Hooked on D? That was a great show. I've been watching. As soon as I got home, I was watching in chat for a while. Then I've been enjoying in the backstage watching her. Great show, D. And Chad, she taught you well. One thing she definitely said that just is definitely right spot on is fishing is therapeutic. That is just like having one of those like animals that help you get through things. That's what fishing does too. It helps you get through things. So great answer on that one, D.
Well, the fish is an animal, right? So
yeah, I think so, technically.
Yeah.
What do they call? I forget what they call those animals though, that you get support animal or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Like when they get the
Exactly what it is.
dogs and all that stuff. Yeah.
Right.
That's what fishing is to me. It just everything else goes by the wayside. You're in nature. You got your rods in the water. You're hoping to get that beast, but no matter what, you're feeling good.
Yep. I want to support Flathead. That's what I want.
Right.
Hey, so let's start off with originally we had you scheduled to come on when Cos was on, so that you could describe what you thought of the pictures that Jody and Cos drew of you. Do you remember that? Do you remember your thoughts on those pictures?
I thought that would have been the perfect night, in my opinion. Obviously, I love you, Michelle, and everybody that I've met in here. But I mean, Jody's my CFF, and then Cause is just so amazing. I've been supporting her even before she started content. So that night would have just been an amazing moment, I think, to have Jody up there with you, and then Cause be the main guest, and then me surprise people afterwards. I felt that would have just been the perfect moment. Unfortunately, this phone was acting crazy.
Yep.
Mike, your pond is going down. No, it ain't, son. And by the way, I took off that vacation. It got approved. I got to take on Backwoods Mindset and Jeremy now. Both of you guys are going down during April, the early days of April. Both of you guys going down. Backwards
Yeah, I
mindset and Jeremy, I got you.
I saw the link that you put
All
up
right,
about
so
the
those back to the question though, Tom. Those pictures were both amazing. I love the fact that Jody actually kept hers and sent it to me. I have that, and I'm going to frame it. But I love the way that both of them captured me in different aspects
right.
in their pictures. It was just beautiful. They showed that they really thought about what they wanted to draw and what they take from me to put back out there in an artistic form. I loved it.
Yeah, I was shocked at that too, that they both had totally different, things in that picture, and I'm not going to tell you who I voted for.
Right, but they both captured it really well. One captured this scenery here. There was a sticker board and the couch and the love and trying to help people grow and stuff. And then the other one was like, the drink and the fishing pole, the little rod, the little fishing pole, and all that. So
What's
yeah,
that?
they
The
were both
adventure rod,
amazing.
or what do you call that? The adventure rod or something?
Yeah, Adventures of Tiny Rod.
Tiny rod. Okay.
And yeah, because it was that tiny rod that I caught during my live that had a catfish attached to the other end of it. I caught a rod and reel out of the water, and then I was pulling the string because it got tangled up with my other stuff, and then I realized there's some pull back. So I was like, I think I got a freaking fish. So I pulled in about 50 yards of line, and yes, there was a catfish about 2 pounds on the end of it. I was able to untangle him, unhook him, and release him alive and well back in the water. Keep the rod. Yes, Valerie loves that rod. You're gonna see a lot more of that this year. So I went ahead and reeled it. Once I let the fish go, I went like this, and I'm like, this thing still reels. It still works to this day. I can cast and reel it. It's a cool rod though too, because it's unbreakable. I can take the rod tip. It's almost like a duck demon. I can take the rod tip and bend it all the way down to the reel and touch the reel with it, and it does not break.
Wow.
But it's only like 26 inches long. It's like 26 inches long.
What brand is it? Does it say on it, or is it
Shakespeare? It's a Shakespeare. I'd have to go to the car if I wanted to name it, but I've named it in the video. It's a Shakespeare or something. I forget, but it's made by Shakespeare. But here's the thing: it's a definite rod and reel combo. I cannot take the rod off; it's permanently attached. So if the rod stops working, or if the reel stops working, it's done because it doesn't come apart. It's a one piece rod and reel combo for sure.
I've never seen anything like that where the reel don't come off.
All I remember was it's a Shakespeare or something. It's green in color and it's 26 inches long. The rod I measured one day because I've caught 3 more fish on it since I reeled it out. And yeah, it's like 26 inches long. It's literally just like this. But I can bend it all the way down and touch the reel with it. It's cool.
Excellent.
Valerie and a lot of other people love that story because they were there and watched me catch that catfish live on it.
Wow. Do you remember what's the name of the live?
I think it was called something like Late Night Fishing at the Power Plant when I actually caught it live. But I did chop that out. I downloaded that recording because I'm like, this is going to make an amazing story. So I downloaded that recording and I put it in my playlist called, it's in a playlist. Like, so if you go to my page, you go past videos and you click playlist, you're going to see Adventures of Little Rod in my playlist.
Okay.
That's going to be where I chopped up just the part where I caught it live. You're going to see the live moment where I caught it live. And then you're going to see 2 more fish that I caught on it since then. I've caught 3, but there's only 2 on video. A drum and a channel cat.
Okay.
Disney rods are like that.
Yeah.
But so every time I catch fish on that rod, not just bluegills, because I'll probably use it for a bait pole sometimes, but when I actually have that rod out trying to catch a catfish or whatever bites on it that's worthy of being funny, it's going to go into that playlist. It's literally going to be a whole story about that rod in that playlist until I don't have the rod no more.
That's a great story. I'll have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, everybody who was there loved it when it happened live. Like I went back and watched the chat, and it was just going crazy when they saw that. And it was soon after Epic lost his rod because that 100-pounder just went ooh and yanked it off the boat.
Yeah. Yep.
So
I was
during the
watching that
live, I
one
was
live.
like, yeah, during my live when I reeled that rod in, I was like, hey, maybe Epic can get his rod back.
Yeah.
Like that's how far back it was when I caught that. It was literally just like days after Epic had lost his rod to the fish yanking it off the boat.
Mhm.
So it just popped in my head when I reeled that in. It was like, oh my goodness, I just caught a pole. Then I had a fish attached to it, so it made me think of when Epic's pole got yanked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I caught an old Zebco, rod and reel, Zebco 202, before when I was a kid that somebody had dropped in, in the lake where I was fishing, but there was no fish on it.
Yeah, that's what made mine funnier. Is like it's cool enough to catch a reel that actually still works, but the fact that not only did I get to bring a fish in by hand lining it in, I was able to release it and safely get it back in the water so it could still live. Who knows how long it could have lived dragging that pole around? It might have got trapped up in a tree and wrapped around and
Right.
wrapped around the throat. You know, it.
Right.
I saved a fish and got a rod to create stories with. I love it.
Mhm.
I had a similar story. I don't know if you're familiar with the old Popeil's Pocket Fisherman, the original one.
For some reason, Pocket Fisherman sounds familiar. Was that a telescopic one or not?
It wasn't telescopic. It was a big body of the reel, and the rod part actually bent over backwards and locked into place when you weren't using it. Anyways,
Okay.
It was a small little reel, little combo. And my dad and my mom had taken us fishing to this little lake, and there was a seawall there that you could sit on and fish. And my sister was using the Pocket Fisherman, and I was using my rods because I was Mr. Fancy. I had my own rods and reels, and she was using that. And she got bored with it and walked away. And the next thing you know, I turned and I see it being dragged into the lake, pulled off the seawall into the lake. And I got a little distressed. I think I was 7, 8 maybe. And my dad actually went to the car and he put on his swimsuit and he climbed down in the water and he swam around until he got it. And he actually got it. It was a sunfish that had pulled it off.
Awesome.
And so the sunfish couldn't drag it that far. So we found it pretty quickly and he was able to retrieve it and get it back to me. But after that, my sister was never allowed to use my fishing rod after that.
Yeah, that's one thing I did learn at an early age too, was put a brick on it, put it in a rod holder, at least put a tackle box on it, or tie it to the ground, do something, because anything will drag it in.
Yep.
And if you get a catfish just hit it, it's gone. It's gone. So you got to do something.
Well, this was back in the mid '70s, and back then I wasn't, I was fishing for bass. You used one rod at a time, so it's always in your hand. There was no such thing as rod holders that I remember as a kid because nobody needed them. But but that story made me think of that.
Yeah.
See, looks like we got some new names. Alicia's in the house. Welcome, Don R. Bugman. I'm not sure if these are new from since the beginning of the stream.
Catfish Regulators and Jimmy Graham and Hooked on D Fishing.
All right. And thank you again, Miss D. I appreciate you so much. And hey, I want to throw out there for everybody, Catfish Regulators dropped a new link today for his new merch store. So he's got lots of new items, and if you like, the description for his link for the store is in the description of tonight's show. So go on, check him out. He's got a lot of new items, and you might find something you like.
Yeah.
And I know he said some of the stuff you can personalize. So,
Ooh,
so that'd be cool.
Oh, that's pretty cool for a merch store. Personalize the product
Mhm.
before you get it.
Yeah. You put
Yeah,
on
that's
what you
nice.
want. I know
You just
as we
see
were
it.
talking. I'm sorry, Jody, good.
You go on.
All right. He had said the hats, you could mount up on it, which is on his t-shirt. So you can have that added to if you want it. And, I'm going to, be spending some time in that, tomorrow. I didn't get a chance to dig into it too much today with, getting ready for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Angler of the Ville is in. Did we see him earlier, Jody? Or is he just come in?
Yeah, he was in earlier, but he had a comment for Mike.
Okay. Let me see if I can find it.
By the way, this is awesome. I'm glad StreamYard got this fixed. It was just random. When I noticed that I didn't have to back out on my guest when I pulled them up, I was like, maybe this will work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently it does. Thank
That's
you so
great
much
that
for
you
having
got that
me.
figured out.
Angler of the
Angler's
Ville
Ville.
said Mike's Fishing Home is one of his favorite YouTubers.
Oh man.
Yep,
Make
I
me
just
cry
found it.
after. Thanks, Angler. Angler of the Ville
That
does
was
have some good content too. I remember sharing them out way back when there was only a couple when he first started trying to do a couple lives.
Mm-hmm.
And then he
Yeah.
said, I think this channel is
Thanks,
full of
Bill.
my favorite YouTubers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Dominic.
Well, I'll tell you, now that my phone's working, y'all might get tired of seeing me. I'm gonna try to get up in everybody's stream.
Yeah.
I've been waiting. I thought I was gonna have
Yep.
to buy a new phone, but apparently this thing started working.
Yeah, I think Tim Molina, he
Ron Popeil,
remembers
I
the
remember
pocket
that
fisherman.
name.
Yep.
I remember that name, Tim Molina. Ron Popeil, that was a guy who used to just sell everything. Ron Popeil was the guy.
Yep, and that was his, the Popeil Pocket Fisherman. Yep, that was his thing.
Yep. We're talking way before the old little ShamWow type people. Way back.
Oh yeah,
Ron Popeil, I remember that name.
That was old school.
Yeah.
Looks like you got a good start on your sticker board, Dominic. We'll make it up sometime or another.
So Valerie's asking, Tim, do you remember Ron Popeil's spray-on hair paint commercial?
I think I need some of that right now. That's how old it was. I need some of the spray paint right now.
I got to be honest with you. I was watching somebody's video from CatCon, it might have been Causes, actually, now that I think back on it. It was either hers or the Parkers. But they were just going around filming people. And I saw the back of my head from a distance away. And it's like, yeah. I was missing some hair back there. It's like I'd never seen the back of my head in years and years. And it was kind of shocking. Let's just say that.
We need some of that Tom Bosley.
Yeah. Let's see.
I have a question, because since this is random, I was gonna do a pop-up tonight because I got two things in the mail today. One is from Potomac River Monsters Smoke, and one is from Catfish Katie Collins. Since I probably won't end up going live, do you guys mind if I just show what I got real quick from those two?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Come on.
All right. I wanted to ask you first because it's your show. All right. So we got Catfish Katie Collins. This was a surprise to receive this in the mail today. I walked out and that's what I got. Got a few stickers. It'll be on my board next time. I was planning on doing it tonight, but I'm not going to go live tonight now since I'm up here. Yep. And thank you for having me. So Catfish and Katie Collins stickers. Just sent me a couple. That's the big one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nice. And then Potomac River Monster has done 2 amazing things recently for me personally. One, he was on my show randomly one night, and he decided, hey, what's your favorite rod? And of course, I said, well, I love the Uncle Lou rod. And he goes, well, hey, let's give one away on the show right now. So we went and did that. Yep. Number 2 was he sent this to me.
Ooh.
A Pin 309. He said it was too bulky for him. I love big bulky reels. So I received today in the mail sticker, which will be on the board.
Oh, nice.
And then this big old fat boy pin reel, which I am going to love. I already know I'm going to love this. I've never had a reel that nice, so I've already looked at it and spun it around real quick, and I was like, oh boy. So big shout out to Catfish and Katie Collins. I appreciate the stickers. It'll be on my board next time. I love stickers, as you guys know. And then Smoke from Potomac River Monsters. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I was in your live the other night when we gave away the rod.
Okay,
that was very nice.
Yeah. I was quite surprised. There was quite a few people there. It was just like random, and we're hanging out, and all of a sudden he says that. I'm like, holy smokes! I got smoke up here, and he just turned this into a crazy, like, oh my goodness, a Lou Giver rod. Susquehanna Stan won that. We went over to the computer, did the little drawing that way. Danny Stone Outdoors. I love Danny. I want to personally thank Mike for all the support he has shown the catfish community above and beyond. Oh, hey, man. I really appreciate all the support I've received, even though I haven't fully been out there yet. Y'all have been watching me on this couch for the last few, 5 months? I'm really hoping that I can get out there and put up those fish that I caught last year before anybody saw me. I'm hoping I can do that again. And granted, it ain't gonna be no James River, Potomac River type beast, but I'm hoping I can put up at least some good fun fishing. If not, I'm gonna have fun at least. Hopefully, people have fun watching. I know I will. So thank you for the shout out, Danny. I love you too.
Say, Uncle Jeep has a comment. You need a custom-made pontoon Jody hat. Yes, I do.
I need one.
Get on that, Jody.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Speaking of which,
Jody still has my shirt, my pontoon Jody shirt.
No, I don't. I don't got it either. That? I don't have it either.
Don't worry, I'm not tripping. That was underneath my chef coat at work tonight.
There you go.
See, I was at work in my chef coat, but underneath it, I had the pontoon Jody on.
There you go.
Bam. I brought the CatCon, your shirt, Tom.
You what? You lost it at CatCon?
I brought it to CatCon because you asked me to, and somebody asked for it, and I gave it to him. You never guess who it was.
Well, if it's my size, it's going to have. It was Danny?
It was D. I said, the only one I have with me is Tom. She said, I'll take it.
That's
I
great.
have another one in here to mail you. I said, don't tell him I give it to you. She said, I won't say anything. Yeah, I had it with me.
I'm glad she got it.
That was our little secret. Yeah. So Chad probably ended up with it.
Well, I don't know. I hope she gets it. Hope she takes a picture with it and posts it, so I can see my shirt again.
I've got Michelle's in there too, ready.
Cool. A little backstory on that. When Jody had given it to me when she came here, and the night that she ended up taking the polar plunge. We had been out it had been raining anyways, and so we brought, when she got changed and got all of her wet clothes off, Michelle threw them in the wash machine and the dryer, and it was all dark clothes, so here's my shirt, throw that in there too, get that dried and cleaned. And when Michelle packed everything up, she packed my shirt with Jody's clothes Jody didn't know.
Mhm.
And, until we got home, and it was like 2 days later, I said, "Where's my Pontoon Jody shirt?" She said, "Don't tell me. Don't tell me that I packed it." She says, "That was your shirt?" And I said, "Yeah." So, so when I asked Jody about, "Yeah, I got your shirt." As a matter of fact, I'm wearing it right now.
Yep. Mhm.
So she was taunting me with my shirt there for a while.
Mhm.
I think Tim Molina's trying to drop a hint at Jody right now.
I have Tim Molina's shirt too. He was actually the first one supposed to got one, I believe. And I brought it to CatCon. He wasn't there. Yep.
Be trying to get caught up on the comments here.
Hmm.
So, Mike, tell me, how did you get started with in the community as far as wanting to share everybody else up?
All right, so the way I got started, I mean, technically the reason I created a YouTube channel was literally, if you look at my thing, it'll say I joined like 10 or 11 years ago.
Mhm.
I did that because I actually, back in the day before cell phones, I actually created my own home network. I had 4 computers tied together. I had my own network. I built my own website with forums, message boards, chat rooms, all that stuff where people will come have fun. That's where I actually originated my name, Thunder Crew, which is why I have the goofy Thunder Crew instead of Mike's Fishing Home for my channel name, or link. I mean, so anyways,
Mhm.
that started me out when I started leaving that and saying, okay, I'm winding down. I'm not going to do this anymore. A lot of the people that I met started telling me about Facebook and YouTube. So I created a Facebook account and a YouTube account, but I did not use either for a long time.
Mhm.
I got highly active on Facebook, but I never used YouTube. I started coming over, checking out some music here and there, things like that. Well, during the Cell Block 19, as Laura will call it, I really started looking around at other stuff. I started searching like fishing and things too. I'm like, man, let me look around, see if there's anything that I actually like on YouTube. So I searched around for fishing, catfishing, of course, at first.
Mhm.
And I started finding things. I found people like Steve Douglas and Muddy River, Chris Flores over there, and Thai Pig Patrol, and a few people like that just had videos. Never saw any lives. So I'm watching the heck out of all those videos.
Mhm.
One day I get this pop-up suggestion. Who do you think it was? Of course, the King of Bling. There was I saw the lit up rods and it said live. I'm like, what's live? And then I clicked it because I saw fishing rods and stuff, but it was all lit up.
Yeah.
So I clicked it. And then that chat was there and I saw the chat scrolling by. I'm like, wait a minute. So this is like a chat room, but
Yep.
yet fishing. So I was intrigued. And I watched probably at least a month or two before I ever interacted. I just kept watching that. And of course, once I watched that, some other people popped up like Has and stuff. Plus, in the chat, people were dropping links. So I was clicking those and hitting subscribe. So I started watching these different channels, but I wasn't interacting. Eventually, I started talking. Got to meeting people, got to waving, got to seeing the same name. So I'm like, okay, I've seen that person over there. And we talked, a little bit. And I just decided finally, let me try this. Let me throw something up as a video. And if you look, it's literally in July-ish of this last year was my first video. So I'm coming up around that 7-month mark, I think, right now, because it was late July, like July 27th or July 21st, something like that, was my very first video where I recorded something for fishing and put it up.
Yeah.
And then I just kept meeting people and kept meeting people. And I love everybody's different personalities, different takes, different bits of knowledge. The personalities, especially. And then I've started branching out to where I've finding other new people that like from the homesteading and from, some beer communities and things like that, that I've made pretty decent connectivity with too, that I love.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main thing, the fishing stuff just blows my mind. There's so much going on in this community, even some of the smaller areas of this community where they only have like maybe 30 people so far, but they're out there putting in that work, and I love watching them and showing them support too. So I'm like, okay, I already had me a decent base that I've collected from around this community that seem to enjoy me and have a trust for my opinion. So I'm like, hey, go check these people out. They need some love too. They're trying and they're putting in the work, and if you don't mind, check them out. I'm not saying, hey, go subscribe for sure, but at least go check them out. You make your own decision.
Right.
Yeah.
And even some of the bigger channels, there's been people I've helped, push over the mark. Because I do happen to maybe know some people that they don't, haven't seen them yet.
Right.
So it's kind of been an amazing thing to be able to help other people and grow as I'm trying to grow myself. I love it.
Well, I personally, I want to thank you. You were the first person to share out, I think, Michelle's link when she only had about 5 or 10 subs. You did that for us, and we appreciate that so much. We'll never forget it.
Hey, you're welcome, man. Yeah, I have done that for a lot of people that I realize, like, in my mind, I don't even know if some of them know. Like, I remember sharing out Nina way back, Nina Kayak Crew, and Freddie when I watched a couple other things way back, and I was like, oh, this is funny, and I shared it. I didn't have the community tab yet, but I shared it in like my room, like I'm typing the link out or whatever. So I hope that anybody that I've pushed as far as like in my room, like, hey, check these people out. I hope it's helped. I hope they've made some friends that actually connect and interact with them and stuff.
Yep.
The more we grow together, the better and stronger the bond is, in my opinion, and the more it's going to be a friendship instead of just a viewership. I prefer friendship over viewership in the long run. I guess that's how I'd put that.
Yeah, that's kind of like me. My channel, it's growing slowly, but I'm all right with that. You know what I mean? I'm not getting 30 people, 40 people a week or, anything like that. I'm getting 4 or 5, but I'm not losing anybody. I mean, everybody says their number goes up, their number goes down. I tend to keep growing incrementally. And, I don't expect to have 1,000 overnight, so. And I don't even know if I want 1,000. I want the community page. That's what I want. And just so that I can share other people, put up announcements and people can actually see them. And I'm at 350, 351, something like that now. So, at this rate, growing a couple of weeks, a couple of years, I might have it.
That was my biggest push. I really wanted that because you can share on Facebook all you want. That doesn't mean that people are going to come over and watch you. I have near 5,000 people on Facebook. I have maybe, except for this community today, this community, I still have that bad tooth back here cutting my lip. Besides this community that's now on my Facebook, the 4,000 I had before then, I think maybe I had 3 that follow me on YouTube. So when I share over there, I'm just putting it out there just in case, but it doesn't really translate. If you're sharing to that community, that's people who are already on YouTube who that might reach. So it's a better tool to try to help people out. So that was my biggest push, was to get to that 500.
Yeah. So Uncle Jeeps, the bacon talk has begun.
Yep.
You know what we forgot to do tonight, Jody?
What?
We forgot to ask Dee if she likes bacon or not, or bologna or not.
No.
Dee, if you're still here, you're probably asleep by now, but comment in the comments if you would. Do you like bologna?
That's definitely a fried bologna. Definitely. There
What
ain't
do
no
you
way.
like on the beef? What do you like
Yeah.
on it? Just mustard?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
What do you like
I'm
on your
taking
fried
fried
bologna?
bologna. I'm gonna get that perfect fried bologna. I'm gonna get it in between some slices of bread. I'm gonna have a little bit of mayonnaise on there, and I'm gonna put about 6 strips of bacon on it. That's my bologna sandwich. Fried bologna, mayonnaise, and bacon. Oh, and cheese. Cheddar makes
You
it
know
better.
what? Mike is a chef and he don't know how to fry bologna.
I don't know how to fry bologna. You ain't gonna get
No,
no
you
bubble
don't.
bologna with me. My bologna
No,
ain't bubbling.
he pokes holes in the middle of it so it don't blow up when you're supposed to slice four little slices on the end.
Well,
And
no, you can slice an X in it. You can slice an X in it. But why
Mhm.
do all that when you can just poke a fork in it? Yes, I can slice it like this to let the
Mhm.
steam raise through it. Or I can also
No,
just go boop, boop, with the fork and it'll do the same thing.
let me draw you a picture.
Different strokes for different folks.
Nah,
Jody drawing bologna pictures. So you didn't ask me what I like on my bologna, Jody.
you draw it like you
Wait a minute, hold
slice
on.
it here and here and here and here.
You can also just put a little bitty X in the center.
Looks like a bullseye.
Now you just cut it there, there, and there, and there, and then it lays flat. So you can fry the whole center all at
Right,
one
but you
time.
can also put a tiny little bitty X in the center. Like when you're digging in your garden,
Yeah.
and you put that little X there to put your plant through the barrier, you can do the same thing
Yeah.
with the bologna. It's just a tiny little X, or just stab it with a fork.
Yep.
People in
Everybody got
chat,
their own way as long as they come to the end result. A perfectly piece of fried bologna.
hey, Mr. Duggar, if you do it like I do, right at Jody, if you do it like Mike, right, Mike. But we all know the right way is Jody way. You don't
What's
do
going
that
on,
to an
Mr.
egg,
Duggar?
you do that to bologna. But Tom,
I'm
how do
still
you like
waiting to
your
hear
bologna?
how Tom. Yeah, there you go.
How do I like my bologna?
Yeah.
I put ribeye on my bologna.
Oh God.
He just had to
I
blow me away
I
with the
take the
bacon.
bologna and Michelle cooks the bologna and then she cooks a ribeye and she takes the bologna, puts it on the bun, and I take it off and she puts the steak on there and we go from there.
You
You
roll
probably,
the bologna up around the steak and then chiffonade it.
Yeah.
You might not have seen this video, Mike, but Jody sent me a video, Michelle and I, a video of her making her favorite meal, which was a bologna sandwich. So the
Yeah.
intricate details of making a bologna sandwich, it was awesome.
Mhm. I was bored and I needed the video. I never posted it though. I only sent it to a few people.
Yeah, I never did see it. Alicia says she's 70 away from the community tab. Can't wait to share it with
Oh,
the community on the tab. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, good luck there, Alicia. Hope you get it
okay.
soon.
I
Mhm.
might start throwing yours back in my feet again then and see just in case. I think most people will have you by now, but you never know. Trust me, you never know. I've been shocked at sometimes when I post somebody's link and all of a sudden they gain like 30 that night. And I'm like, what the heck? How did they not already have them?
Yeah. Like Jody's having a side conversation with Susquehanna Stan here.
A braid is
Yeah.
the devil. I'm finally testing braid out this year. I have it on my
Yeah.
spinning reel. I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not, but I'm finally testing it out at least.
It's tough to use from the bank because if you make a long cast and you hook something, you snag something,
Yeah.
you ain't gonna break that line. Yeah, it's
Well,
tough you lose a lot of line doing that.
especially probably not this one because it's 80-pound Cash King braid.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it when that first came out. Was it Spiderwire was one, Gorilla Braid, there were a couple of different brand names of it, and I went to a demonstration with a couple of bass guides, and it was in an old Kmart store, and they asked the clerk, go get me give me a package of all three of these braids, and they said, we want to show you something. So they took the braid out and they tied knots with it, and they tied it to something there, and they pulled and they pulled and they pulled, and they let anybody else pull on. Nobody could break it when you were just pulling it straight.
Yeah.
But then they asked, there was a little dinette in this old Kmart, and they asked him, can I have a butter knife? And they said they took it, they pulled that line tight, and not with the edge of the butter knife, the back side of it. They just gently rubbed that along that line, and every one of them snapped.
Yeah.
So that's why people say when you get around rocks, it's not that efficient. That woke me up, early on that I think I'd stick with the mono. But there are some bass applications like topwater frogs and stuff like that. But anything on the bottom, I don't use the braid myself personally.
I do remember both of those. The Gorilla and Spider Wire was those two that, when they first came out, I just remember being amazed. Like, I never used it, but I remember being amazed because I'd be at Walmart. That's where all my gear came from until this last year. Everything I ever purchased my entire life was at Walmart or at the used, like Goodwill. If I was at Goodwill and saw some fishing line or whatever, I'd buy it. But everything came from Walmart until this year when I started getting the Uncle Lou and the Kaz King and stuff like that. But I remember Spider Wire, and I remember it saying like it's 8-pound diameter, but 80 pound strength. That just seemed oh man, that'd be great having 8-pound diameter on your line, but yet have the strength of 80 pound. But I never used it. This is the first year I've ever had. I just got it. I just put it in that spinning reel. First time I've ever had braid. I'll see what I think of it at the end of the year.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, did you? I learned this the hard way when I did dabble with it too. You have to put some type of a backing on the braid when you put it on a spinning reel, whether you put tape on it or whatever, to secure that. Because if you get a decent sized fish on there, all that line winds around itself on the spool, and there's no give in it. So you'll be reeling a fish, and you'll see your whole spool of line will be being pulled out by the fish, and you can't retrieve any line. I ended up reeling in it was about a 3-pound bass by hand because the reel was useless. And that's what. Well, did you put a backing on it? Well, no. Yeah, why? Nobody ever told me I needed to do that. So yeah,
well,
so
that's
yeah. So you might want to think of that if nobody's told you that before you catch a big catfish, he'll probably spool you.
Yeah. It's already on there. I guess I'll see what happens. But I'll tell you, it's a giant spool though. So I don't know. I guess I'll find out.
So the conversation in the chat is turning to meats.
Oh, the mortadella. Yes.
Mortadella. Yep.
I saw a couple really good episodes of Iron Chef that they featured mortadella as the surprise mystery thing.
Back when we watched TV, we watched the Food Network all the time. Iron Chef. We even watched the one from Japan.
Yeah, the original. Yeah,
you couldn't understand a word of what they were saying, but they were cooking and we were watching. And to be honest, I don't know how many things that Michelle and I, maybe not from Iron Chef, but recipes that we saw online. Oh, that looks good. Can we do that? And Michelle would pull up the recipe online from the network. They post them all. And we've tried, I don't know how many of those recipes that we liked, and we've had great success finding things we like.
Yeah, that's why I love watching a lot of these food channels on YouTube too. Like Michelle's, I love Michelle's, and we got Eileen, Welcome to My Kitchen. She's newer around here, and she does some cooking stuff. There's been some other people that have like really big channels that I watch, and a couple times I share them out. But I mainly just watch occasionally, and I definitely love food and fishing. It goes hand in hand, man. fishing and food.
Yep.
Electric tape is fast and easy.
Yep.
Yeah, I
That's
never heard
all it
about the
takes.
backing thing. So that big spool I have, it was braid straight to the reel, and so I guess I'll see what happens.
Yeah. But just don't be surprised. The reel isn't
Well, I
broken.
won't now because you told me.
Yeah. But yeah, if you encounter that, the reel itself isn't broken. It's just the way the braid reacts when it's wound tightly on the spool. It revolves around itself.
Yeah, I kind of get the concept of what you're saying. Like it's almost going to move like one piece or whatever. It's just going to pull it off of there because it's pulling on itself, which is going to pull from the underneath or whatever. It's just going to kind of.
Yep.
Yeah, I get the concept of what you're saying. I had never heard it, so.
Now, I think at some point, being in a boat, you have the ability, if you're, however, whether you're anchored or whatever, or you have the ability to go back up and get on the other side of whatever you're snagged on, from the bank. If you throw out and hook a log, that log ain't moving. You ain't pulling it in.
Yeah.
And just be mindful. Do not grab that line if you do snag something and start yanking on it.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a string cut from all heck.
Oh yeah, that'll cut you like you wouldn't believe.
I've even had mono do that to me before, so I know that business at least. There's been times where I've had mono that's so strong where I'm trying to break it by pulling it back, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to accidentally break my rod, so I put a glove on and wrap it around a couple times and try to pull it first. And then if all else fails, I'll get the knife out and cut it. But yeah, I had a few string cuts just from fishing, hand lining big fish. I think I told this story once before, and I don't know if anybody believes me or not. Don't care. It was legit. It did happen. I fished in the Illinois River underneath the I-74 bridge, and I used to throw out every time I would leave. I didn't have no trot lines, but I had some big old thick that 80-pound Walmart special on the spool. And what I would do is pull a bunch of that off, whip it, and let it go. Just zip it out there, big old sinker, big old donkey bait, let it out there. And I put a cinder block on that spool. So the spool's laying flat like this, put a cinder block on top of that. Next day I'd come back down there. Some days I'd catch decent catfish that way. Well, one time I'm pulling. I'm like, I don't know what this is. It felt different. I ended up bringing in a dang 50-pound drum, freshwater drum.
Wow.
By hand lining it.
Yeah.
It took about 2.5 hours, but I finally got it in. But I had string cuts like crazy. It was the most insane fight I think I ever had as far as that hand lining goes.
Yeah.
But I learned that even that hand line, or even the mono, will cut you up.
Yeah, if it gets in all the folds of your fingers, that'll rip you apart. Yep.
Yeah. So I wouldn't even try messing with braid. As far as I'm not gonna pull on no braid. That's for sure. Right.
So Tim Molina thinks that mortadella means dead donkey.
It's just a fancy bologna, Tim.
Yeah.
It's really good.
You put the Oscar Marathon posted.
By the way, since I can't read the chat, I do want to just everybody that's in the chat because they were here already, or maybe they popped in because somebody said, hey, Mike actually came up on too. So I love all you guys, and D was a great show too. But just since I'm not reading the chat, everybody that's been out there, I love you guys. Thank you. Had Italian friends who came over the boat, had access to the mortadella with pistachio bits. Yeah, that's that mortadella. They always slice paper thin.
Yeah. So I've seen recently, Mike, that you've put a couple of dishes up on your page.
Not really dishes, but yeah, it's just a couple things I made at home real quick. I did a burger, and I've done a 2-pound ribeye a couple times. And then the other day I did a rice pilaf with chicken breast and then a little Dijon mustard on top.
Yeah, that looked
Yeah.
really nice. Yep. Yep, there's the bologna song. Sorry, I'm a little behind. I'm a little behind in the chat as usual.
You're more than a little.
All right. Let's.
We're
Shall
doing better
take
than
one.
me. It says there's 68 comments and I can't see a one.
Shell loves real cold cuts. We could get them anywhere. Of course, if you wanted to go into town, Boston's North End, the absolute best. Yeah, growing up in Boston, we had access to all sorts of stuff that we can't get down here in Podunk, Virginia. You're lucky if you can get roast beef and Swiss cheese in the deli, the little places around. We do have a nice deli that just opened up a couple years ago now that we get all of our stuff from. If you had to depend on the supermarket, you wouldn't know that cold cuts existed. It's terrible.
Yeah, I think almost every supermarket here has a fairly decent deli. Some of them are better than others. Like we got a Hy-Vee, and you can get damn near any kind of cheese or meat you can think of, and they'll slice it any way you want.
Now,
or you can buy it whole and take it home yourself.
We had to have there's a grocery store up near Richmond, Virginia, which is about 90 miles from us. It's called Wegmans. I don't know how far across the country they go, but it's like the largest grocery store I've ever seen. They have a cheese room that's probably as big as half of my downstairs in my house. It's like not only do they have every kind of cheese you could think of, they have the entire big wheels of cheese.
Yeah.
Where am I doing? That you can buy. I mean, it's like you could spend, if you wanted to look at everything in there, you could spend 3 hours, 4 hours just looking at cheese and never look at the same thing twice.
Yeah. That sounds
What
awesome.
does cheese racket cost? I ain't never seen nothing like that. Is cheese in the wheel expensive?
Oh yeah, well, you pay by the pound, like just when you buy it anywhere else. And these wheels, what do you think they weigh?
They weigh 50 to 75 pounds because
50 to 75 pounds.
Import.
Yeah, they're the imported cheeses. Yeah, 50 to 75 pound wheels. You don't want to drop one of them on your toe.
And they will
I
Right.
seen
Yeah,
them
they get
rolling
crazy.
down in a race before down a hill. And they'd roll some blocks of cheese or something.
in England. They do the cheddar race.
Oh, Michelle says that's in England. Yeah, she knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, you too.
Valerie says a cheese room should be in heaven.
Separated by
It'd be right next to the bacon room.
Yep.
cheddar opposed to the soft and the
Acreage
hard.
bologna.
Well,
Jennifer was
before you go out there, Michelle,
what?
she's stepping outside for a second. Angler of the Ville has a comment.
What?
Boston. I have a good friend from Boston. He parks his car in something called a garage.
In Boston? He's
Yeah.
lucky.
Yeah, you got a garage in Boston. You're lucky because you're lucky if there's even on-street parking in Boston. Let's see.
And poor Chucky says Acreage bologna is really good. It ain't. I'm sorry. Acreage is in the bottom.
Huh. I don't know. I'll have to take
Oscar
your word
Mayer.
for it.
Oscar Mayer is the best. If off the shelf, Oscar Mayer. No, it ain't Oscar Mayer. It's Fields. Extra thick slice. That's what you want to buy. If you're buying it just off the shelf.
All right. Here's the question then. Ring or no ring? The ring around the bologna that you got to peel off? Ring or no ring?
Surely to God you don't eat the ring.
Then you say no ring. No, I'm just wondering.
No
Some people
ring.
really love to buy it with the ring on, or they'll buy the whole thing and slice it themselves.
Oh,
So I'm just wondering. Some
yeah.
people buy it without the ring. Some people buy it with the ring. So I was just wondering about that.
Mine has the ring on it. I throw it away. I thought you meant you was eating it. I'm like, what?
No. I would buy it with the ring on too and discard the ring, but I would think that's just like if I get any kind of sausage, I'd rather have the ring and the casing and stuff on it, and then So I was
Yeah.
just wondering, since we had all the baloney questions, if anybody had to talk about the ring or the no ring.
Mhm.
So Alicia says, do they park the car in Harvard Yard? Well, yes, they do.
So, Mike, I got a question. What got
All right.
you into YouTube? What did you do
I thought we
before you?
covered that one.
No, what did you do before that? Your job before this? Did you have a hobby on the side where you had chat rooms and stuff?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Way back in the day, I actually built my own and was running it. Then eventually I came over to YouTube and Facebook and stuff, and I was watching stuff. And then eventually, this past couple years, do you remember that conversation? I started watching
Yeah.
fishing. Then I
Yeah.
bumped into Chunky, and that's where I started branching out. Other than that, I've always just fished and worked.
Yeah, but you had
That's it. I like.
you
Huh?
had a pretty big group of you had a pretty big group following back before you did the fishing and your computer stuff, right?
Yeah.
What
Some
exactly
of
was that
only
about?
It was literally just you could go in there. I had arcade games, the computer, you could even bet each other like points on the games and stuff. Little flash
Mhm.
games, a chat room, message boards. You could create your own blog on there. It was just a whole like massive community of interaction. But we're talking before phones were even it was back in dial up. There was no flip
Yeah.
phones when I was doing this. It wasn't even to the flip phone era yet when I was doing that. So it was just fun hanging out, but it was all on the computer and the internet. Just
Hmm.
no phones were thought of. So
Yeah.
that's kind of why I feel left behind. Once the phones came out, I had already kind of lost interest in learning that stuff, and uh, I haven't messed with any of this new phone technology until technically starting the stream now. But yeah, I had no actual hobbies other than fishing and going to work. That's all I've pretty much ever done my whole life. Fishing, going to work, chatting and hanging out, online before
Hmm.
phones.
Yeah.
Old
I
Oak
remember you
is in the house.
talking about the
Hey, what's up,
computer.
old Oak?
You did a lot of the chat rooms.
Like MS, if you think about it, MSN chat way back in the day. I
Yeah.
think that's what it was called, MSN chat. That's where I met most of the people who I even went to Facebook and YouTube for. Like when I decided to start shutting down my stuff, when I'm like, all right, guys, I think I'm done with this. I'm gonna, I'm closing down the website and all that. They were telling me, well, go check out YouTube and go check out Facebook and create accounts. So we're talking like, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, when I, was starting to shut my thing down. And then I created a Facebook account and a YouTube account near the same time, about 10 or 11 years ago, I think, because they were telling me through email, check out these websites, Facebook. Everybody's getting on Facebook. So yeah, I joined Facebook, I think 12 years ago, and then YouTube 11 years ago or something like that. But I didn't really use them that much until within like the past 5 or 6 years, I started getting a little more involved. And then just a few months back, this last year was when I started interacting on YouTube.
How did you get into YouTube, Jody?
I've always fished, and I don't know. I just I started to get into it once before, and I come online and I was watching all the groups and stuff, and I never did interact, but I just watched. And I started to post a video, and there was some bickering and fighting, and I stopped. I thought, well, I don't really want to be part of that. And so I waited about a year, and then I kept watching, and stuff. And it wasn't our group, our community that was bickering and fighting. It was bigger names.
Yeah.
And so then I found Chucky and Chat Cats. I watched him a lot. I watched a lot of Catfish Dave and Dieter, Steve Douglas. And then I started finding smaller channels, like Has, and they were small back then, Palmetto.
Right.
And just started finding more channels like that and started getting more involved, I guess. And I met Palmetto at Catapalooza, and then he did the women's tournament. And then I decided to post a video. And
Wow.
that's when I
That was
started.
your first?
Talk about the Iron Cat one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's when I
I got to watch
posted my video.
That was good.
Yeah. I think it was in May when I joined, and I might have posted close to August or something. And I was really nervous. It was really hard for me to do it.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd post a video. I never thought I'd get online and talk.
Yeah. But you've got the gift of gab, though.
I really don't. Now Mike does. I mean, Mike does really good. But
Hey, like they told me, I could talk to a fence post.
Calls. I mean, she's got great personality and she can talk, but that's not me. I'm a little more backwards and shy. If I forget I'm on camera, then I can cut loose. But if I don't know, it's a little hard if I'm on camera and I know it. If something's not took my attention where I'm not thinking where I'm on camera, I struggle a little bit.
Well, I know you keep telling me that you're shy, but I haven't seen Shy Jody yet. So.
Yeah, you have.
Y'all at least make a little more sense when you talk. I might be able to talk to a fence post, but I might not be saying much. Y'all make a little more sense when you talk than I do.
Well, the only problem is when you hear the fence post talk back to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I kind of fell into YouTube. If you look at my thing, it says that I've been in it like 9 years or something like that. But early on, I started saving like music videos to a playlist. And I had another list for fishing videos for like, tying. I mean, I don't know, the last 10 years, there's been so many new knots that came out. So every time I wanted to see how to tie, I'd just save the video. So I had all these playlists of stuff, but I had never done a video. I'd never talked to anybody on a video. I'd never interacted with anything. I didn't know you could, until some of the lives. But when COVID hit and my bass tournaments were canceled, so when I was just sitting one night and I was looking for something to do, and the first thing that popped up in my feed was a channel called Hook, Line, and Chill. And they're out of Kentucky and they fish. And I watched them and I said, well, it's kind of interesting that, they do trot lines and limb lines and stuff. And I knew nothing about it. So I'll watch it. And it was fishing. It was new fishing, something I knew nothing about. So that kind of intrigued me. But as that first year went on, they said, oh, we got a shout out from Catfish Dave. This is like, like the greatest thing since sliced bread. The Catfish Dave knew who they were. So I said, shoot, I got to find out who Catfish Dave is, So I got into Dave and I thought he was hysterical, with his rhymes and all that other stuff. And his dry, the way that he goes about stuff. I said, I kind of related to that. And then he was talking about old Dieter Melhorn. So that's how I got into Dieter. And I think after that, it was Chunky. And it was on fire after that. So that's kind of how I got started. But I did the same thing. I didn't say a whole lot. I just watched. I figured I got nothing to add to it. I'm a bass guy. What do I know about catfishing? I can't be in a conversation with these guys about any of that stuff, But it turned out that, when you're in the chat, you don't necessarily need to talk about about catfishing. You can talk about baloney.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes when you watch that chat, you'll see like 8 different conversations going on that have
Yeah.
nothing to do with what's going on, and it's beautiful because
Yeah.
that means
Yeah.
people are enjoying themselves no matter what. They're kind of listening to what's going on, but then are also interacting with each other and getting to know each other, and that's what it's all about. I love it.
Yeah, I think we got a couple new people just popped in. Johnny Smile Pepper, welcome. And
Hey, Johnny.
Off the Hook Outdoors.
Now we've got a few more than that. We got Peachtree, Northwoods Peachtree. Did you say Old Oak?
Yep.
Off the Hook, Kevin B, Pete Whiskers Experience, J Fox Hunter, Wabash Nate, Mr. Duggar. I think we done said him and Carmel, but say them just to make sure.
All right. Yeah, I saw
Hello,
old
everybody.
Fishing Against You, Jody. That was a nice stream you guys had.
He was not fishing against me till he started catching fish. We was fishing together, and then when he caught a fish, he's like, "Oh, I got one ahead of you. And you want to make it a challenge?" I'm like, "What? I'm out here checking flathead holes. I'm not even in a place to catch fish."
Yeah.
He caught like 3 just while I was on a smoke break. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
So I warned him when he put his video out. I warned him, Jody. I told him if she wants a rematch, don't bet her. She might be setting you up.
Yep. He may be the
I
one
think
I put in
we've
the
all
night.
warned him against that one.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked like he got a good thing going on. He can go far in this community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good to see some young kids out there starting off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Old Oak is a good dude. I see good things
He
for
is.
him.
I was like, it's friendly competition till he caught one. And he's like, he caught 2. And he said, "That's 2, Miss Jody." And I'm like, "What?"
Joey's over like, I think I got a bite. He's like, that's 3. Yeah. It was fun watching what I could when I peeked in and out. But yeah, I was cracking up. That was the next day after you were out there night fishing, wasn't it? That was like the next day. Yeah. Thought so. Hey, Mike, we need to do another bait making live, buddy. Oh, yeah. By the way, I appreciate that. Yeah. You can come up there on like my next Focus Monday and sit up there and chill out and do it for a while then. Where just be like, hey, check out what this man can do.
Yeah.
He randomly made some baits on my show the other night. It was awesome.
Great. Why don't you tell us about that? Your Monday and your Fridays.
All right, so I used to go live every night. Everybody knows that. I figure 2 things. One, that was wearing me down just because I am getting older and working a lot of stuff. So one is wearing me down, and 2, there's a lot of newer people that are coming along, and that's their time of night when they can do stuff too. So they're having a late night show. So I'm like, all right, this gives me a break. Plus, gives them the opportunity to do their thing. So I've kind of narrowed it down to 2 nights that I will pretty much guarantee that I'm going live. Friday night, I call Friday Free for All.
Right.
That's when I will fill my entire panel up if that many people want to come up. It might only be 2 people, but there's been nights where we've had the entire panel filled up.
Right.
Everybody can, talk and do whatever, and it can be crazy. It can be fun. It is what it is. It's Friday Free for All.
Right.
It can be your first time. It can be whatever. And then Mondays, what I'm trying to do is call it focus. We all need a little focus on a Monday to get through the week. So I've called it Focus Mondays. I will not allow more than 3 people on panel plus myself. So 4 max, but it's 3 people other than me. You can talk about your channel. You can talk about your products. If you own products, if you make products, if you sell products, whatever. I'm trying to hopefully focus on those 3 people, and it can rotate. Like, say somebody wants to come up, I'll announce it and be like, hey, somebody wants to come up. Somebody mind jumping down? So somebody will jump down, somebody will come up. Sometimes it hasn't been too focused. It's still just 3 people talking whatever. But
Right.
I'm hopefully going to gear it more and more and get it more literally focused on. You got a channel that you're trying to promote. You got some friends you're trying to promote. You got a product you're trying to promote. You got an event coming up on your channel that you want to promote. Come join the Focus Monday show. Holler out in chat that you want to come up. If somebody else is up there and they seem like they're kind of dwindled off of what they were saying, and be like, hey, man, go ahead and hop down and let another person come up. But
Right.
that way it's more focused, because it's not going to be 9 people. It's 3 max besides myself.
Yeah.
And those are usually late night after everybody else is off. Like on Monday, there's obviously quite a few shows that go on. So I come on like after the Monday shows.
Right. Yeah, I get in a lot of your shows later at night where I don't get into the chat. I have some sleep apnea issues, so I wake up and I'm awake for a while and I'm watching, and then I nod back off again, and so I don't want to get in the chat and fall asleep in the middle of it. So a lot of times there's been nights where I've been watching you and I've fallen asleep, and you ended and Hogleg come on, so I pull up Hogleg and I watched some of that, and I fell back asleep again, and I woke up and Lee was on, so I watched him for a while. And I gotta start making it a point to just shut the TV off and try to get some constant sleep.
Right.
But yeah, I'm in a lot more than I than I actually chat in late at night, just because I'm fading in and out.
Yeah. Looks like I got a few people that I know are there and supporting, but they're like watching from the TV, so they don't chat. Sometimes they'll pop into the chat for a minute and then say, hey, now I'm going to the TV. But I know there are a few people I have that definitely support every late night that I have done. But they're watching from the TV or whatever. So I don't expect people to chat. I don't expect people whatever. I appreciate any form of support, either watching or chatting or entertaining with the crowd, whatever,
Right.
I'm a no expectations guy. Do you want 1v1 Miss Jody? Most bitch wins. Look at him coming after Jody. You about to get a beat down, old oak.
Old Oak, you want a shot at me? You gotta make a bet.
Don't make a bet, son.
I
Don't
told
make
you,
a
old
bet.
oak. I told you.
You gotta pay the price.
It's
You
all
want a
for
shot?
fun. It's all for fun.
It's fun when they lose. Everybody gets to enjoy it.
I don't know. You two
Just
have to
go
work
back and
that
look
one.
at Lee Evans. Go back and look at Lee Evans wearing his makeup and other things like that before you make a bet, old oak. Just saying.
And certain
Wait till you
someone strutting his
support
stuff down
Tom.
the dock.
Yeah, Tom, tell us about
Oh yeah.
that.
I've said it before. I thought it was a sucker's bet from the minute that Art told me about it. I said, "There's Jody bet us. There's 4 of us, me, Art, Josh, and Kenneth Takedown." And she said, "If you guys can catch 4 fish in an hour, I would send you $100. And if not, you got to do the catwalk down the dock." And Art agreed to it. And I'm like, "Why did you?" I'm like, "Why did you do that?" I said, "We never catch 4 fish in an hour. Every night I've been out here, we average a fish an hour. Not 4." I said, we've lost before we even started. I know this is the sucker's bet. I'm a little bit conscious of myself and making a fool of myself in public. And I said, "No, I don't want to do this, but if you guys have agreed to it, I'll stand by it." And sure enough, we lost. We didn't catch 4 fish, and we had to do our thing. And I was like, the whole time that they're doing it, they were having fun with it, and I was like petrified. I'm going to make a jackass out of myself out here. I says, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to, I don't dance. I don't know how to. I got 2 left feet, and I said, what the heck am I going to do? And it's like, until the second that I started walking out there, I had no idea what was going to happen. And the thing was, when Kenneth got up ahead of me, and he got out his walker, and he did it with his walker, I said, I don't have an excuse in the world why I can't get my fat ass out there. So there
That
it went.
video is still one of my favorites.
It went off. It went off better than like I said. None of it was planned. I didn't know what was going to happen while I was doing it, and everybody said it came out good. So, but I won't be taking that bet again.
I'm not gonna lie, that is still one of my favorite videos. Like, just that, yeah, that was awesome. Once it was edited and put together with the music and the lighting effect and all that, it was beautiful.
Yeah, that was funny with the lights. Yeah, that they had that feature on their phone. To do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that it going forward, that's not worth $100. My cut of that would have been 25, so it definitely wasn't worth that.
Jay Fox, she was in here earlier tonight, so I'll tell her tomorrow. I'll be seeing her tomorrow. He said hello.
Yeah, what you got going on tomorrow night, Jody?
We're gonna go fishing.
Fishing?
Yep, me and Cos will be fishing. I'll be fishing all night and fishing Friday. My friend Travis is gonna be on the boat. He's gonna help me find some new spots and new boat ramp. I already been there last year, but that was last year. I only been there the one time.
Yeah.
So he's gonna help me find those spots again, and I'm gonna probably fish those for the tournament Sunday.
Cool. I hope you find some fish.
Yeah. There's like this submerged island and things like that. And I think Catfish Dave did a video, 100-foot hole. That's one of them.
Huh. Cool. So
Yeah.
Tim says, and it's all because Tommy don't dance and Aaron don't rock and roll. He's going back to Muskrat's live last night with all the music lyrics. That was hysterical. That's a great comment, Tim.
Michelle, don't start again tonight.
Yeah, she don't like it when I start getting into my music stuff. That's what
You start fishing.
We have a phrase. Oh, hold on a second.
I had to mute. That's Michelle telling him something.
Yeah, she wanted me to see the comment that you read, so she didn't hear that you read it as she was coming out here. So
yeah.
But we have a saying here that she said, I can't remember what she made for dinner last night, but I can tell you who the bassist for Deep Purple was in 1972. Yeah. And the answer is, in case you ever come across this question in your life, it's Roger Glover. Okay, so just but yeah, my music minutia is something that I used to spend a lot of time doing, but Michelle is not a big fan of it. Oh, Tim, you might have stepped in some doo-doo.
I love it.
Tim Molina stepped in some doo-doo, Michelle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Because I can.
Oh, no. Not me.
Wait a minute, here he comes.
Let's see what Tim did. Michelle, my bad.
Yeah, she don't like that song. I used to kid her about that years and years ago, and I learned my lesson not to do that.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch you back.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I was trying to click the chat and I went to hit the back arrow, but accidentally exited.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, and unless you guys say anything else, I was gonna go ahead and hand it back over to you guys.
Yeah, no.
Thanks for having me
Anything
up,
else?
and I'm glad my phone's sorted now. Apparently, I didn't do anything new. I've had no new updates. It just started working the other day when I went fishing. I brought
That's
Jody
what I
up as a
learned.
guest, and I said, "Wait a minute! I didn't have to leave. I see Jody right away." And then I brought up Wildfin and them, and they did a split screen with me for a little while. I didn't have to back out. I had a bunch of guests on that night on Monday. I didn't have to back out. So tonight, when she asked me, I said, we can try.
Mhm.
So apparently it works again.
Well, I think you realized, your phone realized that Jody is magical.
I think you had
Apparently.
mentioned fishing. All it needed was go fishing. It straightened up.
There you go.
Yeah, apparently I had to get outside and get outdoors
Yeah.
because that was the first time. It just all of a sudden was like, bloop, it's working. So I appreciate you, Tom, and Jody, of course. D, that was a great show tonight. I enjoyed myself. I watched in chat for a while, and then I watched in the backstage for the rest of it. Everybody that's been in chat, of course, I love you guys. So thanks for having me. And unless
We're
there's
really
anything else,
glad.
I'll turn it back over to you two.
Yeah, we're glad you finally got a chance to come up, and sadly, it's been a while since that night, when you tried to come up, and I'm glad that you
Yeah.
got things worked out, and I'm glad we could get you up here. So we appreciate
me as
what you
well.
do for everybody in the community. So happy to have you.
I appreciate that. And the kind words I've seen from other people too as well. All right. I'm gonna hop back out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and crack me once. It's been a minute. I
There you
behaved.
go. There you go.
All right. See
Appreciate
you guys.
that.
Thank you so much.
Have a great night. Thank you.
See you, Mike.
All righty.
G-style
All right.
fishing. Need Gorilla Glue and duct tape to fix my truck. I broke that arm off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're lucky you didn't fall on your butt doing when that thing snapped.
I know. I grabbed the door. If I hadn't grabbed hold of that door, I was going on my back.
So Old Oak still pushing for the 1v1 here. If you win, I jump in the ice cold lake. If I win, you send me $100. Most fish in 2 hours.
I've
You're the
been in
young
that water every
entrepreneur
time
right
I go
there.
fishing. Every time
Yeah.
I go fishing, I get in the water. No. If you want to wear a nightgown fishing, if you lose, I'll take it.
She tried that on me, Old Oak. I didn't bite on the whole nightgown thing.
I get to pick the nightgown.
Quite frankly, I don't think they have them in my size. So, but yeah, think about it.
It has to be an hour. Well, if you said most fish in 2 hours, you have to do a 2-hour live in your nightgown in front of the camera. If you want to play.
Let's see if he answers you.
And in your boots too.
Not the boots.
Yeah. Your boots and the nightgown. And I pick the nightgown out and I'll mail it to you.
Mike's all right, Danny, I don't know what Danny's angle is here. I don't know if he's trying to push him into this or whether he thinks he can beat you.
Yeah. At least 2 pounds. We'll say 3 pounds. I'm more of a 5-pound limit, but I don't know if he can catch 5 pounds where he's at.
Can he fish with more than 2 rods?
Sure. And limited rods.
Yeah. G style. Freaks come out at night.
Yeah. You fished on your bank, I'll fish on my boat. We fish the same place we've been fishing.
Yeah, Bugman had it too. Again, I'm probably behind, but you have to make a size limit. He will catch all those dinks like the other day. Yep. Everybody's telling him he's got this.
Just remember, you have to pay your bet.
Shell says, Danny's throwing you under the bus, Jody.
Yeah. Hey, Pork Chop, you got any advice for him?
Too soon,
Tom,
Jody.
you got-
Too soon.
Do you have any advice for him, Tom?
Don't do it. Nah, I told him that from the beginning. Yeah, even Valerie telling him, be very careful.
Old Oak, completely jumping in. You don't think I've not been completely in the water?
Well, you did it on when you lost.
The water's out of the question. It's a nightgown
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
I pick.
yeah.
I'll mail to you. And I want you to wear your cowboy boots with it. He's of age, people. I know he's at least 18, so he's allowed to make a bet.
There we go. Let's see. Don't play Pontoon Jody. She can catch catfish and she can give you a discount code for rent a fish so you can have a chance. Have you seen that yet? The rent a fish from John?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was hysterical.
Mm-hmm. It was. Yeah. No, unlimited poles, Don R.
Yep. Be afraid, be very afraid, Tim said. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Ding, 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 ding,
Pork chop, but she beat you. Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
I think I must have missed a pork chop coming.
He
Backing
said
up.
to only be about 2.5 pounds.
Oh, okay.
That's
Oh,
all I
two and a
told
half. 2.5.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember getting off subject a little bit, but I was fishing a 2-day tournament one day for bass years and years ago. And my partner that I was sharing a boat with in the tournament, he ended up catching bass have to be 12 inches here to keep them.
Yeah.
And this was the skinniest fish that we had ever seen. Everybody was laughing at this guy. The fish weighed 8 ounces and he weighed it, at the first day's weigh-in. And everybody laughed at him. What are you going to do with that? And he said, you're going to be surprised. I'm going to win this tournament by less than 8 ounces. And this fish is going to be the winning fish. He was right. The next day when we all brought in our bags of fish, he won by like 6 ounces.
Wow.
And that tiny little fish that everybody laughed at won him all the money for the weekend. So. What's this? Although did she get ready to back down?
Let's see. It's 1 o'clock. I think it's past his bedtime. He had to go night-night.
Yeah, Danny says, well, I tried. We almost got him in a nightgown and cowboy boots. And
We
well,
wasn't
I'll
going by
pass
the way. You said most fish.
Yep. Think it over, Old Oak. You know where Jody hangs out.
Yeah. You'll find me.
Let's see. We got anybody else? Anybody else get anything they want to talk about tonight? How are you doing? You doing all right, Jody? My phone's running low, so I don't have too much longer. But you got anything you want to chat
Yeah,
about?
okay.
What's that?
No, I'm just I'm excited to fish Sundays who I go against. I won't know till Saturday night, Saturday evening.
Yeah. You
Thank you, Jay Fox.
do you have anybody you're thinking of calling out if you get the opportunity to pick somebody?
No, not really. But what you're supposed to do, supposed to pick somebody out you can beat, so you advance.
Right.
But a lot of them has already banded together and said they was going to make it where I couldn't, like, they're going to limit my rods and things like that, to where I can't win or be
Well, they
competitive.
fear you.
So I'm
That's
thinking
'cause
about taking out a big dog.
Well, they fear you. That's why they do that.
Yeah. I was thinking about going out after Creo. I don't know. I'm a plan for Creo, but it's until who I end up with.
Yeah. That if you beat Creole, that would be incredible.
I know.
And just and hopefully that it would be on a good day for both of you.
Yeah.
Somebody
I mean,
gets bad weather.
I'd be fine fishing Lyle when he beats Brian.
Yeah. That would be a heck of an accomplishment to beat either one of those two. There's some great anglers.
Mm-hmm.
They're all great anglers at this point. Everybody that's left.
Yeah.
You get them at the right time on the right day, they can be beat. But
It only takes one fish to win or to lose by. It's that simple.
Yep. Oh,
So.
folks, it's rigged like an old arcade game.
It was your idea. Most fish in 2 hours. I didn't change anything about that.
All right, Don R says first live for him March 23rd, 3:00
All right.
Central Time.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. You'll have to keep bringing it up as it gets closer, so we can remember it. I'd love to see you fish, Don.
Mm-hmm. Tim Molina, I done asked Bumpin Mike. I don't think he wants to do fish against me that day, so that way I could just go ahead and plan who I was going to fish against and where I was going to fish. That's what makes it so hard. You don't know till Saturday night. Just hard anything planned when you turn around right back at 9 o'clock next morning and fish them.
Yeah.
Because we'll fish different areas for different people. Because you don't know what the rules or anything yet. Might be a numbers game, might be a big fish. Might be 2 rods, might be 6 rods. You just don't know.
Yeah. What's your weather looking like for the weekend?
Pretty.
Good.
Yeah. But I will not agree to channel cats.
All right. Yeah, you don't have. I assume they probably have them where you're at. You just don't have a whole lot of them, right?
I just don't have the bait size or the hook size to catch them, really.
Yeah.
I caught one the other day.
Nice.
I
Nice
might catch 10 channel cats a year. I mean, and that's I don't even know if I catch 10, maybe 5.
I found out. So I didn't think we had as many as we have. We don't have big ones, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think I ended up with like 40 or 41 for the year, and I was surprised that there were that many. But like I said, the biggest one was only 7 pounds. Most of them were 3 to 4. So.
Yeah.
When nothing else biting, they're fun and they fight hard for their size. But I'd like to get into one of them big ones.
Yeah.
See what everybody talks about.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
It's done.
My goal is to get new PB this year.
Okay. Do you have a PB channel cat?
What was it? Was it 3 pounds on your dock?
Yeah. Oh, that's your PB?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I caught one no bigger than that.
Well,
I was
you
up
know,
to
that
think about it.
what I say, the dock, that's where PBs are made. A
Yeah,
lot of
that's
people
right.
catch their PBs off the dock.
Mhm.
So Aaron's coming late Friday. We probably won't hit the water till 7:30, 8 o'clock. It looks like. Um,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure if we're going to go live. They're talking about rain, but yeah, we might be truck fishing again. But
Mhm.
we'll have some baits in the water anyways. But if we can sneak it in, I'm sure one of us will want to go live, just in case we do catch a nice one.
Yeah.
So what do you say we wrap this up?
Mhm.
Call it a night.
Yep.
Uh,
I got
wait a
work
minute.
in a few hours.
Yeah, just that you have to address. I couldn't let this one go by. Pork Chop says, after the dress bet, I want a rematch, but 10 pounds or bigger.
You done had your shot.
Wow. That's hard, Jody. The man wants
I'd
to
be
take that bet a second time. You got to give it to him.
nah.
Make it a
There you
skirt this time.
go. We'll see how he does in his playing his bet back. We'll see how he does.
You never know. You know, he might like the whole dress thing once he finally does it.
Oh, yeah, Tim. He still got the Barney bet. Only flatheads over 10 pounds count. How about that?
Only flats. Well, thank you, Angler. Angler says, thank you so much, LG and Pontoon Jody, for good watch tonight. Thank you, Dee and Mike. You folks are such good personalities and folks. Well, thank you very much, Angler of the Bill. We appreciate that.
I am reconsidering my wager with Old Oak. Y'all know who he is. He's real tall and skinny.
Yeah.
He would make a really good Woody off Toy Story.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
What?
That would work.
He would. He'd make a really good Woody off Toy Story.
See, everybody's saying good night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, Tim. Yeah, there's still the Barney bet. What's going on with that?
I thought, Pork Chop would make this all the same bet, but he won it. Said it's his first tournament.
So how can he wear a dress and be Barney at the same time?
Well, he wouldn't do the Barney bet this time. Then he wanted to bet, so ended up coming with the dress, but he still wants to do a flathead challenge, and then Barney be as the losing bet.
Yeah. I think that would be hilarious, regardless of who wins or loses. That would be funny. That would be great.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, my luck, that's when I'll lose. So if he wants to make the flathead 10 pounds or bigger, I'll take that bet. I'll change it to that.
Well, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
John says you're his agent for April.
Yeah.
Now, pork chop now. It's got to be a flathead and blue.
No blue. It's a flat. You have to bet me flatheads, not blue. Remember?
Michelle, everyone, thanks for being here. You're all the best. Agree with that, 100%. Duggar's saying he could fade the Woody look.
He looks about like him already anyway. Just needs the hat and the handkerchief.
Yeah.
And the freckles.
Does he have
Yeah. Oh,
cowboy
Donna
boots?
we're
Or?
back together. Yay.
Kevin Baker saying good night. Good night, Kevin. Thanks for coming in.
Good night.
Dominic says you're back together. He missed you.
Aw. Oh, Mr. Duggar.
That's great.
hmm
Hope you're doing well, Mr. Duggar.
Yeah.
As best can be expected.
hmm
Yep. Michelle says boots. Does he have work boots or does he have cowboy boots?
They're cowboy boots, and he wears them on the outside
Okay.
of his pants, where he's so slim.
Okay. I didn't notice his footwear when he was fishing the other day.
Yeah.
It's a guy thing.
As long as I still take Tanya, you keep Tanya.
Say off the res.
She's yours, not mine.
Saying hello to Mr. Duggar.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, my phone's getting ready to go down. So
Yeah.
why don't we say good night to everybody? We want to thank everybody. We still have 26 people in here. And it's
Ain't
been
no place to
steady
go.
all night long. Yeah.
Let's see.
So I want
They
to
still
thank
got
everybody.
2 o'clock to go to Warthogs. Oops.
Yeah.
Also, it's called Warthog. You don't like that.
Yeah, I know.
It's hog leg, but sometimes
Yep.
I call him Warthog and Pumbaa. He hates it.
Yeah, he does. Well, this will give them a chance to get up and refresh their drinks, make their popcorn
Yeah.
before he comes on.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody, and we'll see you again next week. Do you want to tell them who you have booked for next week? Or are we sure on that?
We're sure of it. Is it Jeremy?
That's what you told me.
Okay. Jeremy's Tournament Cat.
All right, that should be fun.
Is he the
That's a
last
man
one
that
I got
can-
booked?
Yeah.
I need to book some more after him, right? Okay.
That's a man that can catch some flatheads. You two should have a good discussion about that.
Yeah. I never said he couldn't fish.
Yeah. It's just the whole Canada thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That should be fun.
Yeah.
All right, you got anything you want to say before we go, Jody?
No, I'm good to go.
All righty. Well, have a great day at work, and I'm glad you. On a personal note, I'm glad you got contacts, and hope they helped you tonight, and hope you're seeing better when you get on the road.
I can see it good on the road. I just couldn't see my phone.
Well, you shouldn't be looking at your phone on the road.
I couldn't read chat and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you had no problem with it tonight?
Uh-uh.
That's great.
Nope.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
Just, did you get the extended wear or the dailies?
I ain't took them out yet.
Yeah.
I was gonna try and take them out tonight, but since it's so late, I'll probably just leave them in. Yeah.
Well, you
It's,
got to be careful with that.
It's bifocal contacts.
I had them for a while, and I got tired. I got just tired of the contacts, taking them in and out. I wore them for years and years at work because I didn't want to wear glasses
Yeah.
on my job. So, but you got to be careful, especially when they're new, because they're going to move in your eye a little bit. If you sleep on the side of your pillow, there were nights when I would wake up and find my contact laying on the pillow because the side of the pillow brushed it like right out of my eye. So just be mindful of that if you do sleep in them. You're really not supposed to sleep in them, but especially when they're new and they're trying to adjust to your eyeball, just be mindful of that if you wake up. Just be careful.
Mhm.
So, well, all right, everybody, let's say goodnight, and we'll see you next Wednesday night at 10 o'clock. And good luck to you tomorrow night, fishing, Jody. I'm sure I will be there. And good luck to you
All right,
this weekend
appreciate it.
on Sunday. And
Yeah.
we'll see how that shakes out for you.
Yep.
So I'm in your corner. I got you, girl.
Appreciate it.
All righty. Well, good night, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
And we're out.